Welcome aboard.
But enough of this palaver. Let's get the show on the road.
Good morning.
Friday morning.
Yeah,
Friday morning.
but we got an UG. We gotta do an UG. Every once in a while we come in here and you gotta do an UG show.
Big story.
Huge story.
My post-birthday?
Yeah, your post-birthday celebration. Why don't I just play the news clip to get everything going here?
Oh, well.
Because it's so brand new. And then we'll go with it.
Yeah.
Breaking news of a deadly movie theater shooting near Denver, Colorado. Authorities say at least 14 people were killed during the showing of the new Batman movie, The Dark Knight Rises. You're looking at live pictures there.
No, we're not.
Close to 40 others are being treated for injuries. Witnesses told investigators that the gunman kicked in one of the theater exits, threw a smoke bomb, and opened fire. Police have a suspect in custody.
And we have no evidence of any additional shooters. Police officers responded and found the gunman in the back of the theater, outside in the parking lot near a car, in possession of a gas mask and at least a rifle and a handgun. There's at least one additional weapon was found inside. The shooting apparently went on for some time. As of right now, we have approximately 50 who were hit, and we have 14 dead. 10 in the theater, and 4 died at area hospitals.
A horrible and terrifying situation there. The suspect made reference to possible explosives. As a result, an apartment building in North Aurora has been evacuated as police search for possible explosives.
And that's how we start today's show.
Damn, son.
Now we don't. They're saying. Someone said. Who said that they thought it looked like an Indian male? That's the only reason I'm thinking it could be terrorism, like a terrorist. For
Just one of the news
This has
channels.
crazy white guy crime written all over it. Might be, though. Might be. This is an ideal opportunity for somebody if they wanted to make some type of statement. But this is crazy white guy crime.
It definitely is, and it's like, especially at that movie.
Yeah.
But why? Who described him as an Indian guy?
Some reports that were coming in. You know,
just a suspect. I mean, a witness. So
okay.
I mean,
maybe that's nothing.
Yeah.
No, I mean, this story's so brand new that just a lot of stuff is being thrown out there right now.
I just shot him in the face. Well, probably would have cowered. Cowered under a seat.
Yeah, he had a lot of weapons.
Oh, he did.
14 dead. That number's going to be a lot higher because a lot of the people they're bringing to area hospitals are in critical condition. So,
yeah.
Midnight showing of Batman.
Damn. Yeah, I guess as the day goes on, they're going to get more details. But, oof, that's brutal.
It probably is some crazy some disgruntled.
Oh.
And what they'll do...
I'm sure they'll have a manifesto.
Yeah, and the news will talk about it instead of just talking about what a fucking little worm this guy is.
Right, piece of shit.
A real piece of garbage. They build these guys up to be like, wow, they contribute to making these guys legendary in a way, which makes other guys want to do it.
Yep. This is close to Columbine, too, they're pointing out.
Fucking Colorado, man. There's a lot of weird shit that happens in that.
How close to Columbine? Like
20 miles.
20 miles from
They
Columbine.
got like a fucking that thin air. I don't know.
Yeah, something going on.
Fuck that shit is.
Fucking breathe.
That's
just
crazy.
Breathe deeper or something.
Get some oxygen.
On TV, it's just there's still obviously those all cops outside the movie theater.
Yeah.
Oh, it's brand new, man. I mean, it was a midnight showing, and it's 4:17 in Colorado or Aurora, Colorado.
What happened towards the end of the movie?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
It's a very fresh story.
Back, like he couldn't breathe. I was like, what the heck's going on, you know?
Heck.
James,
language.
Yeah, it's Peter Johnson. Were there police at the theater when you arrived there for the Batman showing? Did there seem to be a lot of security there? Did there seem to be anything special that was going on outside of a happy event of seeing a premiere of a new movie?
Yeah, there was an Aurora police officer, and also there was a heavy security presence there. There was like rented cops, but there was an Aurora police officer just coasting the parking lot, making sure people weren't hanging out in their cars like they normally would at an event like this. Yeah.
And describe it for us, as it began to unfold. We understand K-9 units were there, FBI on the scene, police from every possible area coming in to help.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, it's like the law enforcement thought of the sky. Just 1 second I'm dealing with my friend, and then the next second I'm yelling, "We need help!" and I'm on the cell phone going crazy. And it seemed like a snap of a finger. There's police everywhere. So I mean, they
gunmen used at least 3 guns: 1 rifle, 1 handgun, 1 gun stashed in theater.
Probably maybe he threw the gun.
Oh, okay. 10 died in the movie theater, 4 on the way to the hospital so far.
This never bodes well for gun control.
Is that what you're worried about right now?
Well, no, but in the long run, it's one of those things where this is one of those opportunities that people use.
People use it to.
They use it and go, we got. I think a nut like this would have gotten his hands on what he wanted.
Your thought being,
regardless.
But your thought being, if there was other people in the theater with guns.
Hey, if somebody was at least, maybe nothing could have been done, no matter who had what. But maybe if somebody was close enough,
right?
Somebody thought about it,
right?
Saw him right there. Could have taken a fucking shot at him.
He had a bulletproof vest on.
Yeah.
So he was ready.
Yeah. Shoot him in the face.
Which shows you, though, again, this goes more towards, I don't know who this leans towards, because it does make you, he wanted to survive. He wasn't trying to get, wasn't trying to commit suicide.
Maybe he just wanted to get a little more longevity so he can take people out more instead of surviving. But they did take him alive, so.
Why do they have to take him alive? That's what frustrates me.
Yeah, well, that's what the cops do. Could have just unloaded on him, right? Freeze, please.
Now we're gonna have to see the guy, and it'll be glorified, and blah 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 blah. He began shooting before the movie started.
Covered with blood.
Yeah, they're showing a guy walking out with black
who I believe heard that press conference and is the up-to-the-minute details on this horrific tragedy in Aurora, Colorado that started late last night. Justin?
It really is a horrific tragedy, and you can see people showing up here at the shooting location, people that are just waking up to this news. What we know is going on at this moment is the chief of police tells us that they are currently searching the shooter's home. Apparently, when one of these officers took the shooter into custody, he made some statements. Number one, that he had the incendiary device in the car. As you said, they have recovered that. He also said that he had an incendiary device at his home here in Aurora, and we are told the police are searching his home right now. Just to update the latest. What we know, as you said, 14 people confirmed dead. We're told as many as 10 to 12 inside the theater, 50 people injured. You spoke with a witness a moment ago, and that's really the account that's coming out of here. People say this man stood up. He was apparently wearing some form of body armor or what looked like body armor. He turned around and was wearing a gas mask. And they say at that point, one witness described it as 2 bombs went off. We now know that was tear gas. When the tear gas went to this theater, there was sort of a mass panic. People started running, and this man simply started shooting. We are told many of those dead inside the theater are children and teenagers. I'm told by one witness that a baby was shot at almost point-blank range while his family was right next to him.
Jesus.
So these people that are showing up here at the shooting scene are just beginning to learn this. It is a tragedy that's unfolded here in Aurora, Colorado.
It's just awful. Justin, there are a couple of stories out there, and we don't know exactly how this started. Are you under the impression that the gunman was in the theater at the time the movie started, or, as one of the local Denver affiliates is reporting this morning, he kicked an emergency door down and came in that way?
I don't have that information. What I know in talking from police sources as well as witnesses is that the previews had played. It was around 12:30, and that's when this individual simply stood up, is what I was told, and turned around and faced the audience. So whether he made his way in through one of the emergency exits, I simply don't know that.
How do you get a mask in?
How do you get a rifle in?
Yeah.
Oh, no, the midnight showings, everyone dresses up, so it was perfect.
Do they really?
Yeah, man. They go all in.
What?
They get all festive.
Do you know that's maybe, if that's accurate, maybe that's why he fucking chose that showing, because he could go dressed up.
He probably, they keep saying a gas mask, but it probably looked kind of like the Bane character.
Right.
Kind of. Or at least people go, oh, he's dressed as Bane, even though it was a tear gas mask.
Fuck.
Yeah, man. These people, they dress all up for the midnight showings of these big movies.
How much, by the way, does MSNBC stink?
Oh,
they have
my
Morning
God.
Joe on right now.
Yeah,
and they're talking about Obamacare. It's like
of seniors who worry about them, and will they be taken care of?
This is really one of the
That's
biggest
why
problems.
they have
Mark's
no
talking about
fucking
American
viewers.
politics.
Yeah, me and Ant were-
MSNBC, no viewers.
that's why no one watches your shitty network.
Dummy.
Me and Ant were talking just before you got here, Jimmy, and they started with the story, and they're like, okay, they're going with it, and then literally 3 minutes later, they're doing other news. I'm like, what? You just are out of touch.
No one's that's watching the news is watching that.
Yeah, everybody wants to know
Tennessee
this.
plates,
Yeah.
is that right?
That's what I'm hearing from police sources as well. We're hearing that both that he had Tennessee plates, that there was an incendiary device located in his car, but we are also told that he does have a residence here in Aurora.
Okay.
So that's where they're searching right now.
In terms of the gang unit responding, are you aware of any history in Aurora in terms of gang activity in that town? I'm given to understand also that there's been a curfew in the past for citizens.
Gang activity.
That's not
crazy.
That's
That ain't a
crazy
gang
white
thing.
guy.
Gang. This is crazy white guy
This is
or
crazy white guy.
Muslim extremist.
Right.
That's pretty much it.
Gang activity. What are you talking about?
Gang.
These guys just hit every angle because, like, they said that the police sent the gang police. I was like, all right, let's just go with
It's
that.
like everyone showed up for this one. Believe me.
Yeah.
In Aurora, the Aurora PD, I think the fucking secretary showed up. Please.
Joseph, he's been doing a great job reporting out in Denver. We thank you very much for the live report from Aurora, Colorado.
And folks, if you're just waking up with us at 6:25 on this Friday morning, some terrible news to let you know about. In Aurora, Colorado, the chief of police telling us there at a news briefing that 10 people were killed on site of a movie theater at the opening of The Dark Knight Rises, and then 4 others were later reported dead in area hospitals. And this was a sold-out showing, across the country, a midnight showing. And you two, it seems that there is just a dark cloud hanging over these Batman movies. The last one that came out, Heath Ledger,
Oh, my God.
and not only that, but then we're also thinking about the images from Columbine. I mean, there are just so many parallels here.
It certainly casts a cloud, and we know it's so close to Columbine.
There's no
on the phone now is
parallels.
Jackie Montgomery, University of Colorado,
and he
Denver
blew by her. He blew by this fucking
spokesman.
dumb
Good
broad.
morning, Ms. Montgomery.
They all just fail you in the
How
end.
many
the
folks
news,
have been brought to your hospital?
stupid
What
shit.
condition are
Heath
they
Ledger had a
in?
drug overdose.
And
Yeah, no
what
kidding.
does that have to do with
After the filming of the movie.
family members coming
Long
to the
after.
hospital to
There's
see
a
their
dark
loved ones,
cloud over the movie
and
Gone with
check
the
on their
Wind because I think a lot of people are dead. That starred in that movie. It's cursed.
Well, you can. There's a dark cloud over this radio show.
Jesus.
If you want to go with that shit.
We have a handful of
Unbelievable.
teenagers. I don't know the exact number, but we're really focused on just providing them terrific care.
It's horrible. It's
awful.
The baby thing literally made me
That's
puke in my mouth.
That's pretty fucked up. That's
We
some
got,
ruthless shit.
Suspect found is this instant feedbacker. It says Ruben
Kincaid.
Ruben Kincaid seems to be in custody per police scanner. Easy to find on Facebook. It's Ruben Gutierrez. Gutierrez, Gutierrez.
Is he a?
I'm just going with this because it's so.
Hispanic?
This could be completely wrong by this instant feedbacker, but what the hell? It's so fresh. We got.
He's listening to the
police scanner.
Click on one of those. Who knows, right?
Yeah, you never know.
Click on one of those. You never know. Maybe this guy's got some fucking.
Maybe that's why he was mistakenly identified as an Indian guy. Possibly, if he's Spanish, maybe it was a mistake.
That's in Spanish, huh?
Yeah.
That's in Spanish.
Look up.
Well, anybody else have any info?
Where's he from? San Antonio. That ain't it.
San Antonio.
Why don't you look up his name and then
and put Aurora.
Aurora,
yeah,
right?
or Colorado.
Just put Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Colorado.
Look, this could be a dead end, obviously, but
15 people named. 16 people named. Spokio. Littleton, Colorado. My life. Ruben Gutierrez.
They're saying he has a residence in Aurora.
Huh?
Sure. I mean, given our proximity to the local airport and, we're a major city that we have we've had airplane incidents and other things like that happen. So the team here is well prepared to handle anything like this.
That dumb woman.
I know you train for it, but at the same time, when it happens, it's
embarrassing, right?
Right.
Who the fuck would say that on Fox News?
All right, Jackie
I'm not saying
Montgomery,
they're great,
University of
but I mean,
Colorado
you're a news
Hospital
source.
Center. We thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Can you imagine? I mean, you just go, you
now
go to
they
the
start
movies
with
to
their-
escape reality.
This is where it gets embarrassing.
There's no new info at the moment.
You've got somebody's cell phone
So we let's
video
speculate that it was
of
us.
what was happening just outside the Century 16 movie theater just a couple hours ago, where you go in just to escape reality, and then some guy
We understand what a movie is, motherfucker.
You
get your popcorn, you get your coffee. Shut
Can you
up.
just imagine?
You got your
Can you imagine? He had
popcorn,
so
you're
many guns.
escaping reality.
You know what, dude? You're sitting there.
And that just
then you
touched
hear
a few minutes
boom,
ago on the
and then
moment
boom,
of
there's more
excitement of going
booms.
to this movie show, a midnight showing of the Batman
The Batman.
movie.
The Batman.
And
I
I
just
can
say
still
Batman.
imagine across Aurora and the area, the fear and the anxiety of parents wanting to know, are their children coming home tonight? We heard
really?
from James, the witness,
Thanks for
earlier
adding that. I didn't
about seeing
think
a
that
little
was a
girl
possibility.
shot and a mother cradling that little girl.
Oh boy.
And something obviously that will stay with him forever.
Yeah, emotional wounds for so many of those
Throughout their
people.
lives. We're getting more and more details as time goes on now. We know that at least...
Well, at least they're covering this as
14
opposed to MSNBC, who's doing the Emmys.
And I guess, Willie, the question is, what happens if Heilman wins a couple of Emmys? Seriously?
Halpern has humility. I'm not worried
Has he
about
gone to
that.
Hollywood
Fucking
already?
terrible fucking
Heilman
network.
went to Hollywood a long time.
Talking
And
about
they-
the Emmy
And they
nominations.
sit there every time the ratings come out.
If he has
They
an Emmy
have
to
to
put
sit
on
there and
his
think,
mantle.
why are we
Sunday's
losing to
Parade
Fox
magazine.
every time?
Let the games
Why do we
begin.
get beat
Parade
the
breaks
fuck
down
up? Now they're going to do an
23
Olympics break.
to watch
Nice.
the London Olympics.
Why do we get beat
Inside is
every
everything
time
from
by
the
Fox
oldest Olympians.
News?
Why is it we're doing more news than MSNBC?
Yeah.
A guy who's 71 years old.
Holy shit.
Theater. This movie theater you're
Unfucking
seeing on your screen right now,
I
a
can't
brand
see
new
it.
movie theater, we should mention,
I'm
by
on the
the way,
radio. I can't see
packed
this.
with people to see the
Oh, it's
Batman
packed?
premiere
Uh-huh.
of that movie.
The
Open
Batman.
fire in one of the theaters,
What?
killing at least 14 people at this hour. 50 people have been taken to area hospitals. Fortunately, there are about 4 excellent hospitals in that area where victims have been brought in. The injuries at this hour range from more modest injuries to more severe injuries. The gunman apparently had a long arm rifle and also 2 handguns. We are hearing at this hour that one of the handguns may have been stashed in that theater at an earlier time. We are also hearing from witnesses at the scene that the suspect threw some kind of a canister into that theater. Witnesses then say they report hearing some sort of a hissing sound and then appeared to see some sort of a smoke.
Rolling.
So some believe that this might have been some sort of a tear gas. And that is when the man opened fire.
Well,
He
if it
shot
was gas in
between
the
10
theater,
to 20
he might be
rounds
maybe
from
a
this
theater
long arm and
employee.
also from 2 pistols. We are hearing then that the gunman ran out of the theater into the parking lot, and that is where his car was parked. We should mention at this hour that police have taken down this guy. 1 suspect is in police custody, no other suspects at this time, but that is certainly something that police will continue to investigate. Police are searching his car. We are hearing that it is a white vehicle. And apparently there's some sort of explosives that have been found in that car. What kind of explosives? We do not know that at this hour. Now, that suspect also talking with police officials and indicating to them that he has some sort of explosive device in his apartment in Aurora, Colorado. I think those are the pictures that we are seeing right now at this time. Actually, that appears to be the picture of his vehicle that I just mentioned, a white vehicle.
You can't
we are
see it,
hearing
though,
some
because the
reports
fucking
that that
Fox
white vehicle
Chiron
may
is in
have
front of it.
Tennessee
Oh,
license
God,
plates.
what are they
If
doing?
anyone out there has any information on who the suspect might be, you are asked to please call
there it is,
police
okay.
in Aurora, Colorado with information at that. Back to his apartment. Police officials are searching this guy's apartment for any possible explosive device there. We understand that that apartment complex has been evacuated at this hour, so that neighbors there are considered safe.
Crazy.
Here's what we know about the suspect. A young adult man in his 20s. No word yet as to this person's motive. Again, the Tennessee license plates, that is not confirmed at this time. We are hearing, though, from a lot of witnesses. Keep in mind that this theater was a packed theater. So many young people out on summer break wanting to go see this Batman movie.
Yeah,
tremendously popular. We're told that this movie was, in fact, sold out.
Of course
the movie theater was packed. We are hearing from one person, Benjamin Fernandez. You can see some of the pictures from that movie theater right there. Benjamin Fernandez says that he was watching the movie and then he heard a series of explosions. He said that people ran from the theater and there were gunshots then. Police shouting, "Get down, get down." This witness says he saw people falling, including one young girl. We also understand that some of the victims were adults, some of the victims were teenagers, and there is one report that one of the victims may be just a 1-year-old baby. Well, police have set up a command post near Dillard's department store. They are interviewing hundreds of possible witnesses at this hour. Some of those witnesses were taken by buses to Gateway Gateway High School. They're being questioned there. A police spokeswoman says that that scene is still very active. Again, if you're just joining at this hour, 14 victims are dead, many of them children. Many of them teenagers,
Somebody on Twitter is saying they're saying the movie had just started. So maybe it just began.
Yeah, we got that out there, right?
I didn't know if it was what part of the movie was.
40
yeah,
minutes
no,
in.
it just started.
40.
Or early on in the movie.
You fucking, it's like...
She did a really good job, by the way.
Yeah, there you go. Summed it up, right?
She was
MSNBC, MSNBC is getting their commercials in.
Aurora,
there they go.
Colorado, a suburb of Denver, about 10 miles east of Denver. Police now say 15 people are dead. The last time we talked, the death toll was 14. That has now ticked up to 15 dead, at least 50 more wounded in a shooting at a movie theater. According to the Denver Post, the man is 24 years old. The suspect is in custody. The incident happened local time at a mall in Aurora, about, as I said, 10 miles east of the city. KUSA, our NBC station there in Denver, reports dozens of people have been transported to a nearby hospital. Reports say the shooting happened during a late showing of the new Batman movie, The Dark Knight Rises. According to witnesses there, the shooter, wearing all black, kicked in the emergency exit door in Theater 9, walked to the front of the theater, stood in front of the screen, threw some kind of a smoke-producing bomb, and then began shooting at random. Witnesses say he was wearing a gas mask. Police say he was carrying a rifle, a knife, and a gun. His apartment now is being evacuated and searched by police for explosive devices based on some information.
You know what? I'll bet this guy planned on doing other shit that night.
Police say
that's why you have an explosive device.
Arrested without incident. He did not resist. He did not put up a fight. In fact, the police chief in Aurora, Dan Oates, calling this a, quote, horrific event, I should say. No evidence, though, of other shooters so far.
Just shoot him in the fucking head.
Yeah.
People are like, how do you feel about the death penalty? What do you think? All in for the death penalty.
Or at least cut one of his hands off.
Yeah.
Just cut it. Like, there is something to be said for Saudi Arabia doing that.
Their reasoning is a little crazy, but the thought isn't bad.
Yeah. But now this you're right. This scumbag, his thoughts and opinions will be out there.
Hear
and then
all
he
of
gets
his
to
fucking ideology.
Then he gets to go to jail and be protected. Blah 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 blah. Because he's a high profile. Blah blah blah.
But his car, if there was a bomb in his car, and he had stuff at home still, and a bulletproof vest, he was probably planning on running out of this theater and going somewhere, either getting away or going somewhere else and finishing the job around the other side of the...
Maybe.
He might have been planning on going out to the front of the theater as they ran out and doing something.
Or maybe he figured he had enough bombs to take into the theater, too.
But he didn't blow it up. That's why it's weird. Like, why would you leave your bomb in the car?
No, he let tear gas off in the theater, though.
It's also odd that he was taken without any incident. Usually these guys, when it's crazy white guy, they either go out in a blaze.
They keep going,
or
right?
They shoot themselves or something, you know?
Witness, I'm sorry, Sam just put up, witness said that the shooting started at the start of the shooting scene in the new Batman. When was the shooting scene? Do you guys remember?
Oh, yeah. It's in...
I don't remember when that happened.
At the beginning of the movie where it's
the beginning of the movie, they got like... Yeah, well, that's the airplane scene.
Yeah, but that's...
So this guy, okay... If that's true, either he was just waiting, but if this guy had fucking, if that's true, and he was able to play, like he knew that when that was happening, he had probably seen the movie already, which means he was probably a theater employee who saw a screening.
I think it's a coincidence.
Maybe.
I think he just decided, okay, it's go time.
Yeah.
You let everyone settle in and get into the movie, and then it's go time. I think. I don't know. You might be right, too.
Craziness.
And he was in, like she said, a riot helmet. She said had a bulletproof vest on. She said that he was completely covered in all black with goggles. And she said that after that point, when she saw that he was holding a shotgun, her and her boyfriend dropped to the floor and just kind of started to crawl to see if they could get away. When she turned around, all she saw was the guy slowly making his way up the stairs and just firing.
First calls to police came out of that movie theater at 12:39 local time, almost exactly 4 hours ago. Police say they were on the scene within 1 or 2 minutes. Again, the police chief there describing it as a, quote, horrific event, a scene one officer described as police officers dragging bodies out of that movie theater. Again, the update right now, 15 people dead.
I think you might be right, Jimmy. I don't think he expected the cops to be on the scene within, 2 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
But I guess there were police in the area because it was such a,
He must have seen them as he was pulling up. I mean,
huh?
No, maybe he was parked in the back. If he kicked in that theater door exit, he was. And another odd thing to notice, his car. Maybe you don't think of this, but his car was parked like he pulled his car into a spot. So maybe he wasn't. Because if you're going to plan on just taking off, wouldn't you back your car into a spot? I mean, maybe that's just a in that moment you're not thinking, but
right.
That just struck me as odd that his car is parked where he'd have to back it up to leave.
Yeah. He was well prepared, that's for sure.
And now they're saying MSNBC has been covering it all morning. No. And again,
we've been
doing
here.
all commercials.
I mean, we've been on since 6 o'clock. They have done 5 minutes up front and another 5. So they've done 10 minutes out of 40.
Yeah.
Get those commercials in.
You guys had a lot of trouble breathing.
Yeah, because I don't think Fox has gone to commercials.
No, they haven't. They're a cable network, so they're
because
doing
the
what
air
they should
conditioning and the circulation was on. It was in your.
If any of you or your guys need anything, let me know, and I'll find you a relief for
police scanner.
Water.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, this is Aurora.
214 Adams to Lincoln 25. I'm assuming that's still one. Center point.
What?
What was that?
Yes, we still want center tech blocked.
What?
And one of the officers that just got relieved from Abilene, who wants to take the field that Lincoln 25 was talking about to the east of the theater?
Well, they're just distributing resources.
All right, thank you. I think that can be covered from Sable.
No, this isn't my ringtone.
25, I got a bunch of cars with lights on down there, and Sergeant White's going down now to check to see if there's any officers down there with those vehicles, just east of the theater on Sable.
I want to hear people that are at the apartment.
Somebody's going to check those cars with their lights on just east of the theater on Sable.
Yeah, they're a little skittish.
Just those cars coming out of there to check it. Don't come any closer than those cars. The squad is still out here working the car.
Oh, they're still working on his car.
Oh, really?
They don't come any closer to the theater than those cars because bomb squad's still working the car.
Jesus.
Wow.
That's some crazy shit going on. 2:30. Yeah.
Come on. This is raw, obviously. We're just taking a chance here.
217. Be advised, Chick-fil-A is going to open up their doors for off.
Chick-fil-A is going to open up their doors for the officers. Breaking
hungry?
news.
They're
Breaking
hungry?
news.
They're hungry?
Breaking news.
Oh, they're feeding the cops, though. At least that's...
Chick-fil-A.
Affirm, Chick-fil-A is going to be opening up their doors for the officers if they need to go in there and get something to eat or go to the bathroom.
Breaking news. Only on the Opie and Anthony show.
Right.
Chick-fil-A opening their doors for police officers to piss and eat.
And that's all Chick-fil-A's in the entire country.
Yes. Every single one of them. So officers, feel free.
Yeah. You know how many cops are listening to this right now, walking into Chick-fil-A's, and they're going, no, what are you talking about?
By the way, Chick-fil-A always involved in these tragedies. It seems amazing. Yeah, they're not.
That awful woman.
One of my guys had a car that was full of blood already, and it's no longer on scene with you guys.
What?
Let me find detectives here. See what we're going to do there. I don't want any of those cars to look like Per lieutenant before double check with them, but I think they were just taking photos, and then they could be cleaned out. Okay.
I guess they want.
Should see if I can break in here. See if I already cleared our cars up here today.
Crime scene, you know?
All 3 of our cars need to be checked out.
They got to get all that information.
Okay.
If there's bloody vehicles there.
Lincoln 25, if you eventually get a count of how many we're talking about, I'll try to get that info to those people and get those things taken care of quick.
225, we're out with a Arapahoe County Sheriff's cruiser at Abilene and Alameda, and we can't find the owner. Can you try to air and have him come get his car? Sure.
And they've been photographed. Hold on.
Raw feed coming from Aurora.
Littleton officers, he's no longer on here. That was the last person that had eyes on him that I know of was those Littleton officers you're with.
Today begins Ramadan, by the way.
Mutual Aid Command Post, Nicoletti's
Yeah.
office is setting up there. Again, Nicoletti's office will be at the Fire Department Mutual Aid Command Post.
I'm just speculating.
Lincoln 25 to those guys that have our Brookbacher. As long as the cars are documented that they were used to transport, we've taken pictures of the car and the back seat, those cars can be decontaminated.
The police car's probably right.
27's clear. Anybody that has a car that needs that, I'll get crime scene cleaners to MJC. Hey, Sarge, we got a bunch at the hospital, too. We got 3 at the hospital we can't leave right now that are full of blood.
Jesus.
Hey, Matt, could we maybe have crime scene cleaners go to the hospitals after those cars have been documented?
Wow.
Yeah, I think we can accommodate that. Somebody make a phone call and see what I can get done. Let me just talk to the 4 real quick, too.
You don't realize they got to, make sure they know who was transported in what car, where they came from, where they were.
Dispatch to 628.
628.
Can I have you guys please on a domestic at Lexington Park Apartments?
That guy's like, fuck, I gotta go to a domestic.
That guy deals with some drunk wife.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Let me tell you something. This bitch has been fucking giving me shit the whole. Do you understand something?
All right.
We're very busy. Domestic.
Jeez.
Some guy in a wife beater fucking, hey,
right.
This bitch.
Do you know how cranky that cop is going to be when he gets there?
Of course.
What is MSNB talking
How did
about?
that make you feel?
I didn't like it. I felt I went back and looked what Tom Brokaw said when they used him in an ad, and Tom was the entirety of the 30
campaign ads.
My understanding is this
dopes.
The theater.
Because, I mean, if you're a viewer right now and you know this is happening, you're changing the channel.
Right, immediately.
And finding whatever you can. That's how human nature works. What idiots.
They are stupid.
What idiots.
We, on the Opie and Anthony show, we're playing live audio from the fucking police scanner feed in Aurora, Colorado. MSNBC is talking about political ads.
Yeah, this is their job, not ours.
Shitheads.
It's unfortunate, and I wish it hadn't.
Let's go stay with the New York Times on your must-reads. Paul Krugman.
Yes, that's what I've chosen. I think it's a good one. Like everyone else following the news, I've been awestruck, he writes. By the way, questions about Mr. Romney's career at Bain.
Bain. They can't get enough of fucking Romney and Bain Capital.
Trust me, the Bain thing isn't going away. You could pick up on that on Monday.
I think it's going to take a back seat.
Are you kidding me?
today.
I have been keeping track. They have done less than 10 minutes on this whole thing. Fox has not gone to a commercial, and I'm not saying I'm a Fox guy. I'm just pointing out the obvious.
You don't need to go to commercial.
Right. They have not gone to commercial, and they have not done another story.
Do they comb through tips that they may have gotten? Do they comb through information to look for clues as to whether there may have been some indication about this person in the past in order to put together other
Bain
people that
Capital.
may be part of a web or a conspiracy?
All of the above you just mentioned, yes, they are doing all of those things. Here's the thing, again, there had to be warning signs with this guy. Someone, and we'll find this out later on today as this case progresses, someone knows about this guy, whether or not he has family members, whether or not he had a girlfriend,
who knows? But somebody had to
no
have
one thinks
known
he's a man
that
from
this
Mars,
guy was
idiots.
planning this type of an attack, and maybe he has a criminal history. We do not know that quite yet. Again, this is so fluid right
what are you
now.
saying,
But
then?
we're
You're
going to
just
find
making-
all of these
he's just saying
answers out,
words.
hopefully
Right.
sometime today. But let me just mention this one other
This
thing.
man
When
may
guy
be an
started
airline
shooting,
pilot, and he
one
may
question that
enjoy
a lot of
Yankees
people may
baseball.
have
Oh,
is,
yeah, well,
what
you
could
could
the
fucking
people
say
in the
maybe to
theater have
anything.
done?
Yeah.
In a situation like this that we just see, what you have to do is scatter. You don't want to gather as a group. And I think that's why that guy set that bomb off, because he wanted people to be huddled up as a group, heading for the door, because it made it easier for him to take out his target. So in a shooting situation like this is some good information, guys. You always want to scatter. Get away from everybody and just
Can I
scatter.
point
And
out,
then when you get
you're
to
in a
safe
movie
location,
theater where
that's when you call
smoke canisters are set off.
Thank you. And,
There's not
Aurora,
500
right outside of
exits.
Denver, you know the area very well yourself.
There's
About
two.
325,000
One the shooter's next to,
living
and
in
the
that
other
area,
one.
we're told. And also reports coming in that a gang unit came on the scene, canines, the FBI.
Yeah, everybody.
Maybe it was a dog
police
then.
From
Everyone
every
showed up.
possible area.
Yeah, you got to
Every
imagine
cop.
everyone's going to show up.
Everyone showed up.
They also, I'm sure,
except for the
traffic
poor
cops.
guy that has to do the domestic.
Yeah, except for that poor guy.
Domestic violence call.
Yeah.
She has not shut up about taking the garbage out.
Sir, you don't understand. There's been a shooting. I can't do this.
I didn't shoot her. What are you
She shot
talking
her
about?
mouth off.
Yes.
You think he's distracted? He's like, oh, God, I want to get back to the scene.
yeah.
Because I imagine if you're a police officer, this is the type of thing you want to be involved with.
And he's just fucking.
And he's like,
she just won't shut the fuck up. Sir, can I ask you to sit down?
Sit down.
He's got a fucking beer in his hand. That guy.
That guy.
This cop's like, oh, really? I got to leave this scene?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
Well, it's fucking horrible, man.
Terrible.
We just seem to have one of these every
so often.
Every other year, it
this
seems like.
happens. It's, basic human nature.
Yep.
I reckon.
But just like, what a selfish cunt this guy is. Knowing that, besides the people he's killing, just the amount of people he wants to be tied in with this movie.
Yes.
He wants to be tied in negatively with it.
Yeah.
Piece of garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Engine 3, I forgot to ask, did you want them emergent or routine?
Huh?
Routine, sir. Copy, thanks.
Oh, yeah.
What happened?
Then what happened?
What happened?
What happened? I always wonder what's happening when they...
13, I have a witness over here at Crystal and Alameda that was told to come be interviewed by Fox News. Are we letting them in?
Hey, Jake, one more time.
I have someone here that was told by Fox News to come in and be interviewed. Are we letting them back in or no?
Absolutely not. Nobody, once they've left, no, we don't need anybody else in here.
Fox News all pissed off now.
Yeah, they're screwed. They lost
motherfucker.
one.
Yeah.
Hey, CSO dispatch, 1 Baker 34.
Baker 34.
Can you see if we can have everyone meet over on the east side of Dillard's? We have a vehicle maintenance for
Battalion 1 with engine 3 on a standby. Member 4 David 2, East 17th Avenue, North Oswego Street. Truck 2, Battalion 1 on a standby with AP. Member 4 David 2, 17th and Oswego. Respond on Tech 2.
I need TAC 2.
So enraging.
I need to go to TAC 2.
It really is, huh?
Yeah, you can go ahead and give them my cell.
Don't give out your number.
Sir, is there somewhere I would find that number?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, you should have it up at dispatch at Chief 3 or Martinelli.
Yeah.
They would never give it out on a police scanner, right?
Oh.
They got to be aware people are
monitoring the situation.
Of course.
We're monitoring the situation.
Negia.
Yeah, this is
I've got 622, 624, 625.
I'm bashing MSNBC on Twitter, and somebody goes, should they spend hours on this story?
Yeah.
Yes!
Yes.
Yeah,
That's what they're there for.
It's unfolding right now. That's why you have a 24-hour news channel, you dunce.
Yeah, kind of, you do. You spend the next few hours on it.
It's not like it's either this or another shooting or a presidential assassination.
Right. Yeah.
It's this or fucking the Emmy nominations.
Right. They're just not prepared. When we get home today, this is going to be all you're going to see all day
just not prepared.
long.
That's exactly it.
And yes, they should.
Yes, they should.
If you know anything about building an audience, you realize people are going to search out this this news on their own. Because all that other stuff could wait. I don't give a fuck who's nominated for an Emmy right now. Who
It's
gives a
such.
fuck?
And how is Morning Joe as a host not going? This is no, forget it. This is terrible.
Yeah.
I know there's not much new info, but how do you concentrate on the Emmys?
Right.
A guy fighting with his girlfriend.
Still? They went back to that? I wasn't listening.
Yeah, apparently. Jesus Christ.
Lincoln 25 into my supervisor at the high school. Cruiser 70 at Gateway, go ahead. Yeah, what location you want us to come in? Jamie Brower with Nicoletti's on her way up there. Will you coordinate with her? We're still trying to get this hashed out, but if you want to put the truck in,
This is just logistics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still interesting, though.
Lanyards and things like that there at the Century 16 multiplex. What kind of security was in place before the movie started? Did you see police officers there?
Before I went into the theater?
Yeah.
No, I actually didn't see a lot. I was actually surprised because of the amount of people that were going to be there, and I thought they would have had more enforcement.
Why?
Right. And we understand that the movie was showing at 3 different screens there in Aurora. Were they all filled to capacity?
Yes, I believe the first 2 were sold out, and I couldn't get a ticket to the first 2, and then I had to settle for the third one. That was the only one that was still selling tickets.
Well, you know what? You're lucky you weren't in that earlier theater.
Yeah.
I think he knows
A lot of excitement around.
It just frustrates me, the basic shit. Like, as a news guy, you don't know that the Batman movie and the midnight showings are all sold out across America.
Yeah, yeah.
Supposedly it's sold out for the entire weekend. Of course all the theaters were packed.
And then somebody writes, MSNBC should be politicizing this tragedy like real Americans. Are you guys out there, like, are people who like MSNBC's politics this fucking delusional? They're doing a lousy job.
Terrible.
Now they're covering it. They keep going in, but they're getting their fucking commercials in, and then the host and his co-host are talking about Emmy nomination and political ads.
Emmy nominations and Romney fucking Bain Capital.
They're covering the garbage they planned on covering.
Yeah,
they're
right.
a live news network, and they're not going with the live news.
Right, we had a whole show planned, and we threw it all out the fucking window right now.
We on this show,
and we're supposedly just a dumb shock jock show.
Yes, and yes, we are.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I like to think we're way better than most of these fucking idiots.
No, we're dumb
at this point.
We're having fun.
No, we like to go dumb.
Yeah,
yeah.
But we do
Monday
it
through Friday. We do it.
This is Denver. I don't think.
No.
Detail 3 has been released.
I'm not sure what they'll have on it.
We can be in all around and over the unit for the remainder. Head at 456.
Yeah. Hello?
Nothing?
No, I don't think so.
Consonant phase 2, so hang up 2900 block of Arkins. Call Ed for information at 456.
What's that English guy doing?
I don't know. What
else he doing there?
I don't know. I don't like that.
They sent in the bobbies? Hello? Yeah, I don't think
no.
Denver's going to have anything.
All right.
There's nothing going on in Denver.
Horrible.
No.
Yeah, it's really depressing.
Fucking horrible.
Yeah.
And if you are there in the theater with your gun, do you shoot?
Yes. I say yeah. It all depends. You know, it's one of those situations you can never say what you would do in that situation. It's a fucking like battle situation.
Wouldn't you try to get your ass out of there like anyone else?
Maybe. I think if you got somebody that's well trained.
But you would assess the situation like, wait, maybe if I get behind this pillar, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But your first thought is to save yourself. That's what everyone would think.
Any reasonable guy with a gun, the first thing you think of is this the right thing to do? Is this a stunt? You know, you don't want to shoot someone that's pulling a stunt for the movie kind of a thing. So, you know, to just instantly start firing in a crowded theater, you know, you get yourself fucked that way. But then And then how do you know, even though people are screaming, it might be a prank? It might, it's one of those situations where
it might be Howie Mandel doing, a scene for Mobbed or something.
Right, something like that.
Some over-the-top prank, you're right.
Yeah, but if you're...
So you got to wait it out a little bit and then go, holy fuck, this is real.
But if you're close to the situation and you see somebody fall and bleeding, and now you know that this is happening and it's a real thing going down, then, yeah, you fucking would have to...
But your brain says, get the fuck out of this theater first.
Yeah.
It really does, unfortunately.
That would be your instinct.
But then if you're thinking, wait a minute, I could, he's distracted right now, I think I could take a shot, then you take a shot.
If you're a cop, you probably take a shot because you understand immediately what's happening, like an off-duty cop.
Yeah.
But for a regular guy, it's like...
You're going to have to wait.
Tough. Yeah, it's a tough call.
You're going to have to wait at first.
Well, cover and then fucking return fire.
What was footage of the old man recently? There was an old guy, there was a robbery, and he was with his wife, and he fucking had a gun, and he ran after the guy and popped and fucking chased him out.
The footage is unbelievable. He's sitting in a chair at the back of this internet cafe. Two guys come in with masks on. One guy's got a gun, one guy's got a baseball bat. They start rousting the crowd. This old guy just stands up, pulls his gun out, and starts shooting at these motherfuckers who absolutely were not expecting this. Because they were tripping over each other to get out the door, and the old guy's just plugging them.
Man.
Did he actually shoot them?
Yeah, he got both of them. He didn't kill them. They wound up in the hospital, and then they got arrested. But yeah, were they shocked. Were they shocked.
Denver University Hospital is reporting that they are treating 3 people for chemical exposure, but that could just be
they
the
were
tear
probably
gas.
Close to the tear gas.
Yeah.
Investigating in the hospitals and finding out why this took place and whether there is anyone involved in bringing this together.
That's right. We're going to have some more experts coming on to tell us what they think went on. If you've got a question, email us, friends@foxnews.com.
Now, top stories, MSNBC. Defense Department service members may march in uniform at Gay
NBC
Pride.
News Chief White House correspondent
Top of the
Chuck
hour,
Todd,
I'm sure they're gonna
and former director of the
it.
White House Domestic Policy Council and CEO of Melanie Barnes Solutions, Melody Barnes. Good to have you all on board this hour. We want to go straight to Willie Geist, though, for an update on the terrible situation out of Aurora, Colorado. Willie.
Yeah, and NBC's Pete Williams confirming the suspected shooter in today's massacre in Aurora, Colorado is a 24-year-old man, a white male, police say. 15 people are dead right now.
They say white.
50 more wounded.
They got to say white male.
They do, but I want a suspect description, so fair enough.
Outside Denver. The suspect is in custody right now.
If it was Middle Eastern, they'd probably say it here, though.
Theater. It was the opening night of this Dark Knight Rises movie. People were in costume, so he didn't stand out. He was wearing black and he wore a gas mask, but then walked to the front of the theater, apparently dropped some kind of canister, police say. Some kind of smoke began to rise, and then he just began opening fire indiscriminately, killing now at least 15 people. The police chief there in Aurora calls it a horrific scene. Images of police dragging people and perhaps bodies out of the movie theater.
And somebody says now we'll have to go through security to go to a movie theater.
I almost hope he kicked the door in
local time, just for that reason, like so everyone in the whole country is not the
20
fucking
minutes
shift
into
gears.
the movie, this guy walked in and began opening fire. That suspect is in custody, 24-year-old white male. He was carrying a couple of weapons, a knife.
But it is funny how they now, maybe it's fair,
inside, so they shut down and locked down that movie theater as they checked. They're quick to point out they haven't found that yet. Jim Miklaszewski at the Pentagon reporting defense officials say they have no indication as of now the shooter.
It is, much more than a fucking
military.
Man, I'm going to fucking make a statement.
As I said, happened just
he's
after
a comic book guy, the Dark Knight. He
thinks
he's the Dark Knight. I'm the Dark Knight. Ugh, selfish cunt.
Goddamn fucking prick.
Just a selfish little nothing. 24-year-old, probably good at nothing, probably got dumped. Just a fucking bag of shit who would never have amounted to anything, who wants to get famous.
And now he's going to be very, very famous.
And he wanted to live, man. I'm telling you. You had the bulletproof vest, and he still had a fucking bomb in the car, which means he was probably going around the fucking front to do something else.
And they will pick apart everything this guy has done. Music he's listened to, television, video games he's played. Everything is going to be, well, look at what caused this. And meanwhile, what caused it is this guy's a fucking prick. Just a dick.
Let's see what CNN's doing.
As we understand it, the vehicle was found with some sort of explosive device in it. Now, it could be a gas canister or something of the sort. At this point, we are just not sure. There is a picture of his vehicle right there. Now, here is what we are hearing from witnesses, that this gunman entered the movie theater. The movie started about midnight, but just after 12:30, apparently this gunman stood up in the front of the movie theater, set off some sort of gas canister, that's what witnesses are telling us, and then grabbed a rifle and and 2 handguns and started shooting at random. We are hearing that somewhere between 10 and 20 shots went out across that movie theater. There was mass chaos in that movie theater. The gunman then ran out to the back of the theater, to the parking lot, and that is where his car was parked. Now think about it. The folks who are going to a movie at 12:30, 12 o'clock midnight, those are going to be a lot of teenagers. And there are parents waking up this morning whose teenagers may not have returned home. There are as many as 50 people in the hospital this morning. Some are being treated with more moderate injuries, but some are considered to be severe at this point. 14 people dead at this hour.
They can't get
Well,
this
we are
straight?
hearing from one witness. He's a 30-year-old Benjamin Fernandez, and he says that he was watching the movie, and that's when he heard a series of explosions. He said that people ran from that theater. There were gunshots, police then shouting, "Get down, get down." This witness says that he saw people falling, including one young girl, and we are hearing that a child as young as 1, possibly 2 years old, may have been shot at point-blank range. The police setting up a command post near the Dillard's department store, which is nearby. They're now interviewing hundreds of possible witnesses. Some of those witnesses were taken by buses to Gateway High School for additional questioning. The police spokeswoman says the scene is still, quote, very active. Again, we're hearing at least 14 people dead at this hour, many of them children and teenagers. Another 50 have been injured, many of them in critical condition in nearby hospitals. Police are asking for anyone with any information about this shooting to please call 303-627-3100. And guys, it's also important to point out, that this movie was sold out. And so, fortunately, there were police at the scene when all of this went down. And that is because they were there primarily for crowd control. So thank goodness that those law enforcement officials were there, because this could have been much worse. As terrible as it sounds, it could have been much worse. So let's keep that in perspective, and we'll keep coming to you with more information as we get it, guys.
All right, Heather.
They didn't get him, did they?
Thanks, Heather.
Did they get him
Joining us
outside?
now is Jamie Marshall. She was in the theater adjacent to where the shooting occurred. Good morning, Jamie.
Morning.
Jamie, what did you see in this terrible event?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
What did you see last night in this terrible event?
Well, we were watching the movie, and it was about 20 minutes in, I'd say, and it was in the middle of a shooting scene. And in our theater, we heard all of a sudden this sounds like as if someone set off firecrackers. And we all start looking around, and people in the section closest to this wall where we heard it from kind of all looked around, and then it happened again, and a bunch of them jumped off and started running, getting out of the theater. They seemed really confused, and so we didn't know what was going on. We thought someone was just pranking us in the movie. So we started looking around. We didn't know what to do. There was panic, and then one guy ran through to the theater, the personal theater's exit, their emergency exit. He said, "Don't go out through the lobby. Someone's shooting." So we didn't know what to do. We didn't know if people were just trying to cause a panic or what. So we started exit. People started running up the stairs because there was an exit to a balcony area upstairs. And we went up the left side of the theater where we heard the sound, and we looked at the wall, and it seemed as if bullet holes had come through from the other theater.
Wow.
And then we heard a big boom, so we started running and got up the stairs, and police started bringing people down the stairs from that balcony and running them out to the lobby. And we saw a kid run out the door that was shot, and then a girl outside who had been shot in the leg, and people covered in blood.
Jeez.
Well, Jamie, you did what you're supposed to do. We spoke earlier with Rod Wheeler, a homicide investigator, and he said that's exactly what you're supposed to do is scatter and go as
Obviously, you dummy, but there's no room to scatter in a theater. This didn't happen at a football field, and they all curled up on the fucking 10-yard line. It's a fucking movie theater.
Jesus. Real Phil Hendry on Twitter, radio guy. One of the few radio guys I really like. He's tweeting some good stuff right now. He writes, guys, a 24-year-old all-black costume bulletproof vest. I'll bet his motive will be revenge against a puny world not worthy of his genius.
Uh-huh. That's what it is.
And then some asshole had to do their Baba Booey today. That's coming in. That's wonderful. Good for you. Good. I'm sure Howard will be very proud.
What year is this?
Enjoy your fucking whatever. Yeah,
man. Yeah, he's gonna be famous. We're gonna know. He's unknown right now, but this guy is gonna be the most known fucking guy in the country in a matter of hours. Everyone will know this guy's name. Everyone will know his dumb fucking opinions, ideology, beliefs, and how fucking amazing and misunderstood he was, and all this horse shit. Oh, God.
On Twitter, another guy says, although this is a tabloid story, okay, I agree, they are a terrible network, meaning MSNBC, just like Fox News and CNN, they all suck. It is amazing how fast MSNBC fans are politicizing what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not... Who cares about Fox's political slant the way they're covering a live news story?
Yeah. Why can't you be honest with yourself? If you like MSNBC, good for you, but they're failing right now. We got all three on, the main three cable news networks, and MSNBC is talking about
Syria unrest.
Yeah, which we could deal with tomorrow or Sunday. This is a massive story that's breaking now. Fox hasn't gone to a commercial yet, and CNN hasn't gone to a commercial. So they're failing as a news network.
These fucking babies that like MSNBC, all they can do, and Fox is covering it. Look, it just happened.
Right. Yeah.
News is coming out, and it's not a tabloid story.
No,
this is not fucking Brangelina. What the fuck? It's a shooting. It's a legit story.
It's one of the main problems we have in this country. Everyone has to put their stupid political blinders on all the fucking time. Sometimes you just got to be honest and realize, look.
Expansion and a proliferation.
Those are the chemical weapons that Saddam Hussein
Syria's a
moved
big
over
story.
the Syrian
I mean, I
border.
understand
Of course.
But the United States went in, right?
And
it's like we conservatives were saying for at least 6 months.
This is why they
Syria. And so we're going to...
She must have been struck or grazed or something because she seemed to be...
Fox, then you got CNN.
There goes Piers. Horrendous details from the Colorado cinema shooting. America has to do something about its gun laws. Now is the time. Do you honestly think that Piers Morgan...
So that's what the first
You honestly think gun laws have anything to do with this?
With him,
honestly,
or maybe he's a member of a group that somebody else will go out and start the same type of thing somewhere else. So that's number one. Secondly,
there's plenty of gun laws in place. Unfortunately, there are people that don't pay attention to laws. You know there's laws against bank robbery?
Oh, really?
You know there's laws against it, but people somehow still do it.
Yeah, that's just dumbing down a very difficult and complicated
it's not going to work.
topic.
Don't worry about it.
Interviews his neighbors, friends, colleagues, associates. So there's a massive amount of
that'll make kooks go, oh, okay.
You know, there's gun laws all over in fucking Chicago, and people are shot on a daily fucking hourly basis in Chicago. It's
initially we'll be looking at the domestic terrorism issue.
There had been some reports, in fact, that the vehicle, when we saw pictures of a white car that we believed to have been the car of the shooter, because the doors were open, the trunk was up, it was being searched, that the vehicle had plates from Tennessee. So crossing state lines clearly would be another issue that would involve the FBI.
FBI.
Well, certainly. Then they'll be looking into where he lived in Tennessee or who, various neighbors or family members that may be still in another state such as Tennessee. So that's one issue. The issue of bomb squad capability will be another issue to examine that vehicle.
You do got to kind of find some comedy just because it's just horrific. This guy, John X, writes, I bet Fred Willard is a little relieved this morning.
Oh, man, right?
These fucking news shows were going to be all about Fred Willard getting caught allegedly jacking off in an adult movie theater.
Man, did he fucking skate. Holy shit, you're right. Fred Willard was jacking off in a fucking porno theater, which would have been all over the news today.
Or at least all over the internet.
Yeah.
And
even the news would have said it.
No
one.
Fred Willard, congratulations. You're skating today, sir.
Oh, no, this detail just in. He's not skating. Gunman is Fred Willard. Holy shit. He wanted to get the heat off of him.
John X on Twitter, bravo. You're right, though.
That is exactly.
You are right.
Fred Willard.
For the most part, a fairly nice, livable suburb that you'd want to raise your kids in.
Yeah. What do you need to tell us, Kelly? What do you need to tell us about what happened last night?
It's just a shock. It's sad to see
Obviously,
that this sort of
it's
thing
a shock.
happens, not just here, but anywhere. It's sad for the victims, of course, but it's also sad for the entire community.
How much you want to bet? Because, humans do suck, that there's someone right now demanding their money back.
Oh,
they skated. They didn't get... Yeah.
I didn't see the entire movie.
Right. What's the refund policy?
Yeah. Wow.
But will that affect? I mean, again, the movie itself is unimportant compared to this, but it's a huge event happening all over the country for the entire weekend. There's a lot. So how does it affect that?
They're going to see stepped up security. They're going to do.
In every
they're
big city,
step
certainly.
up security for this movie now.
Certainly, New York, you'll see NYPD outside these theaters.
Yes.
If I talk for New York, that's about it.
Jesus.
It's like what a scumbag. Shoots a baby. Like, what a... I mean, shooting adults is bad enough, but...
It's crazy. This guy's a fucking...
Just a piece
of shite. Yes. Just a fucking selfish...
Selfish,
Me, look at me.
Little cunt of a man.
Oh, man. Unbelievable.
Video of inside theater after shooting people, running out covered in blood. Everyone's throwing their videos up now on YouTube.
That must have just looked like fucking a war zone, definitely. Like, but there's now it's conflicting reports. Was he in the theater waiting, watching the movie, or did he kick the door in? Now, because how the fuck do you get in the theater with a rifle?
I think he probably kicked the door in. A gun planted. I don't know about that. Maybe, but if there's a gun planted, obviously he either worked there or he's a maintenance guy, or he did something where he had theater access.
Yeah,
or he just went to that theater for another movie and taped a gun somewhere that he knew they wouldn't find right away.
But if he kicked the door in during a shooting scene, that means he knew when the shooting scene was happening in the movie.
But he wouldn't need the shooting scene to do what he had to do.
Yeah,
everyone's focused on the movie. Half hour in, you're really settled. You're settled in, and your eyes are just on that fucking screen.
Yep.
Unless he had to do it during the shooting scene, there was something about that too for him. I don't know.
I don't know. That sounds coincidental.
I think it might be a coincidence, though, right?
Yeah, it's an action movie. Damn.
People are just tuning in. Well, I mean, and they want to know what's going on. Well, there's a midnight showing of The Batman in Aurora, Colorado, and half hour into the movie, a gunman starts shooting.
Yeah,
let off some looks like tear gas, and so far 15 people are dead and at least 50 injured, I guess.
Yeah,
that's for the people that don't know still. Well, you wouldn't know if you were on MSNBC.
But in fact, it's a collective success of the whole society that somehow builds enterprises like this.
Comment back there. So why don't you now ask a leading question to Mark Halpern while I sit here and roll my eyes?
What is MSNBC trying to prove here? I don't understand.
I don't know.
I do think the news gets a bit tabloidish.
Sure.
But this is a story that just happened. It's breaking. Maybe you move on after a little while, but to just completely ignore it like they're doing, I don't understand.
They're a terrible
network. Does Fox have Michael Baden on for that?
Was able to put his hand on the revolver and insert his thumb in such a way that the weapon didn't fire.
That's right.
A real hero guy.
Right, and what's diabolical about this particular situation, Doctor, is the fact that it sounds like what we're learning initially is the guy was down in the front. You got a theater with hundreds of people in there. The guy's down at the front. He stands up, turns around. He's got 3 guns, 2 handguns and a long gun. But the only way out is past him.
And the people might have thought, that's part of the show. You know, with all the hype, that would be very confusing initially. You get a guy stand up, start shooting. Hey, is this part of the show or not? And so people hesitate. But the only other kind of thing.
That's why I don't think it's a coincidence he started doing it during the shooting. That's why, because if he timed it for the shooting, either he was waiting, but if he kicked the door in, you got to know when that's happening.
Maybe that was part of his sick mind.
Yeah, people just don't know when things are happening around them. And by the time you assess a situation like that,
right,
a lot of damage has already been done.
The white car again.
Surprised him or how it actually happened, but I know some of the first officers that, arrived within, I don't know if it was seconds, maximum a couple minutes, found him behind the theater at his car and took him into custody there.
Jeez.
So that is a little description from some of the eyewitnesses of what they saw inside that theater, which is really a theater complex, 16 theaters, many of them showing The Dark Knight Rising, which of course was packed because this has been a film that people have been anxiously awaiting. Yeah. Here's what we know about the shooter. His name has not been released by authorities at this point, but he's described as 24 years old. He's also described as wearing a bulletproof vest and being heavily armed. He was taken into custody, we're told, in the rear parking lot of the theater, although some eyewitnesses said, in fact, they thought that he was captured in the theater itself. The police say they took a shotgun and a rifle from him. They were able to recover another gun inside the theater. And he was, according to some witnesses, wearing goggles. Police confirmed that he had a gas mask as well. They have not confirmed the goggles part. Police say he did not put up a fight. There was no resistance. And additionally, he was able to tell them about explosives in his apartment building. Police said that at a press conference. And after that, they mobilized units to his apartment building. And there is a building that we've been monitoring that appears could be his, where it's now been surrounded and surrounded by law enforcement and ambulances as well. It does not believe, no one believes that there was a second shooter, although in their early morning press conference, police said that that was something that they would continue to actively monitor. 50 people were transported to area hospitals with injuries, some of those injuries very grave. I want to get to Nicole Williams. She's joining us by phone from Swedish Medical Center. She's an assistant vice president there. Nicole, thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Tell me what's happening at your medical center right now.
Sure. Right now,
Fred
we
Willard was
have
jerking
actually
off,
just
by the way.
received word that we are receiving a fourth patient. So currently we have a 19-year-old male who has been listed in fair condition. We have a 20-year-old male who is in critical, a 29-year-old female in critical, and we understand we have a 19-year-old female inbound. We are unclear of her condition at this time.
So you have two in critical condition. You have one 19-year-old who seems that person is in better condition, and you're unclear of the person who's being transported to you at this time.
Correct.
Can you give me any details on those who are reported in critical condition? What kind of injuries do they have?
Gunshot wounds.
The three that we received immediately following the incident all came in with gunshot wounds. We're hearing rumors that the patient that's currently on their way in could have some shrapnel wounds. But again, I don't believe they've arrived yet. So we have not been able to assess.
Yeah, well.
It's just horrible.
We should take a break. Really.
Yeah,
we'll continue with this, certainly.
Selfish scumbag this guy is, man.
We got two things to do today. Continue with this and make sure that Fred Willard doesn't slide.
Yes.
For his naughty behavior.
Fred Willard's a very naughty old man.
I teased him on Twitter last night. I mean, I like Fred Willard.
Yeah.
And I realized he was following me. I'm like,
oh, no.
He was following you.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like I said he denied masturbating in the theater. He was just punching his cock for talking during the movie.
There you go.
I looked him up and oh boy. Poor Fred Willard. He's 72. The fuck? What undercover cop is doing that?
Leave him alone.
How embarrassing.
Oh, boy. Yeah, what a detail.
You really need to go into seedy adult theaters and bust people for jacking off. That's kind of strange. Seems like there's a lot of other things to worry about before that. And what do you, if you're in an adult theater watching fucking porn, you know, your first thought is maybe I got to get rid of some of this poison.
Yeah.
But who called the police? Is there like a new manager there who didn't know? Like, hey, let's go out of here!
Holy shit!
Well, I didn't expect this. This wasn't in my job detail. I actually might see guys jerking off in here.
What the fuck?
Fuck that!
It's an adult theater.
Yeah,
that's what people do in adult theaters.
A seedy. I mean, it's in a seedy part of town and everything, man.
Lots of reports said he was in the movie already, stood up for the first time Batman came on screen.
Is this Fred Willard?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I don't know.
He's shot in the theater, too.
I resisted that one. I thought
did
it
you?
was,
Okay, thanks.
No, on Twitter.
Thanks for leaving it for me. No, I know. That's terrible.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Jiminy Cricket.
And then someone says, can it be argued that MSNBC shouldn't cover it because others are? No, you're not supposed to think. If you're a 24-hour news network, you're not supposed to think of the competition. You should just, as a responsible news network, it's a real story. This is not a tabloid hunk of shit. It's not voyeurism when it's actually an unfolding story.
Well,
yeah.
But I mean, if you're running a news organization, technically they're not really, pure news organizations. You need.
Aren't they or no?
I don't think so. They're all slanted and shit. I think you want ratings.
Yeah.
And I think you think about ratings big time, and to not cover the story, it's just stupid on MSNBC's part.
Yeah.
Completely stupid. I guarantee their numbers are dropping drastically this morning because they're not doing a lot on it. They're doing a little bit on it right now, a little bit.
Well, they're showing the president Obama's statement on it, of course. Which, again, I guess that is news.
Yeah, that's fine. But then they'll move on to other shit. I mean, Fox and CNN, I'm not playing favorites here, trust me. They still haven't gone to commercial. It's just around the, around the clock coverage of
before
this.
opening fire. He is now in police custody.
The President of the United States, who is traveling to Florida right now, overnighting in Palm Beach this morning, was notified of the shooting by Homeland Security Advisor John Brennan at 5:26 a.m. Eastern this morning. He then released this president. The president says, "Michelle and I are shocked and saddened by the horrific and tragic shooting in Colorado. Federal and local law enforcement are still responding, and my administration will do everything that we can to support the people of Aurora in this extraordinarily difficult time. We are committed to bringing whomever was responsible to justice, ensuring the safety of our people, and caring for those who have been wounded."
Statements just suck.
Statements are
That's
insincere.
It's just so dumb. Of course all that's going to happen.
Yes.
Of course. Just dumb. No one can speak from the heart.
No.
I'm sure he had to go over with his people. All right, well, let's be careful about this statement. Make sure everything is perfect in here.
Yes. Word it properly. Let's not
Here's the first draft. Well, I don't know. Let's rewrite this a little bit. Let's change this word a little bit.
Sounds a little rash.
Right.
We don't want to alarm people.
I hate statements.
They're terrible.
Stink.
You know what people are pointing out, though, which is a good point, and one of you guys might have said this already, that the fucking fire doors open out. You can't kick them in from the outside. They open outward. So obviously it couldn't have been kicked in unless somebody had propped it open or they stood up in the theater and kicked it to leave.
Well, that's true. Maybe he kicked it open to leave.
I'm guessing that it's a theater employee or someone who has access to that theater.
Yeah.
I could be completely, obviously wrong, but...
Yeah, maybe.
Now they're outside his apartment.
That's his apartment.
Oh, wow.
Let's see what this is all about.
Indication that the individual involved was driving a car with Tennessee plates, and so anything that needs to be conducted, any investigation out of state that can be conducted for the Aurora PD will be done in an expeditious manner by the Bureau. The Bureau will put any expertise that they may request. Will guarantee that they'll have that assistance. In terms of the other thing they have to do is probably working together with ATF, looking at the origin of the weapons and where that gas. There's some indication now that perhaps it's a tear gas canister that went off. So this individual had access to arms, to ammunition, to other sources of chaos. So it's a confusing issue right now, which will be kind of ironed out. But what can we do to protect there? It's a terrible situation. We can't walk down the country. You can have some indicators. You can look at the way people are. But, when you have a movie like this with such hype with Batman, people do things. They come to movies in costume and stuff like that. So you don't really know who these people are. And, that may be one thing.
I guarantee that's going to stop.
Oh, boy.
They can at least, control that a little bit.
We're a very knee-jerky country.
I guarantee you're not going to be able to wear a costume or a mask into a movie theater anymore.
Yep.
A lot of people have had fun with that over the years, but that'll be the first thing that stops.
Jeez. Well, I'm not gonna be
kind of attack. The determination should be made very quickly whether or not this was a lone gunman who potentially is mentally disturbed or whether or not he belongs to a larger group.
Loner.
Tony Roman.
I agree.
Sorry, keep going, Tony.
I'm going loner.
Selfish cocksucker. Didn't resist, didn't shoot himself in the head, so he probably wants to be caught and heard. He's the Dark Knight. That's what this guy is. If he stood up when Batman came on screen, this little fucking cunt is just one of those loner piece of shit that nobody liked because he has nothing to offer. He should have just shot himself in the head.
Yes.
He didn't have the moral courage to do that. So he's the Dark Knight. He probably thinks he relates to Batman Rising and...
I think
fucking twerp.
I think he thinks he's the villain there.
Well, yeah, but if he stood up when Batman came out,
yeah,
he's just
well, we'll see.
Just a fucking twerp.
Ugh, God.
And this MSNBC, again, I know it's a business, but the fact that they're showing these commercials, can you guys just cover the fucking story?
Yeah.
And again, I hate when news stories overdo, like news networks overdo the coverage. Because it becomes a point where you're just like a fucking shill. But it really is unfolding, and new footage is coming out every fucking 2 minutes. It really, it's one of those things where it's legit.
Right. It's really fresh. MSNBC is just doing a quick headline about it.
And CNN and Fox are both doing it. It's not about politics, you dumbbells.
No.
It's CNN and Fox are both doing the right thing.
And we usually don't watch them, but I'm sure the Today Show and all that is pretty much around the...
You'd hope so, yeah.
Around the hour coverage or whatever.
You know how many comedians...
I would imagine.
You know how many comedians right now are being canceled across the country on these morning news shows?
Oh,
like they have like their local gigs to plug because it's a Friday, and that's the day you do them.
Right.
They're all getting bummed.
Yep.
Not that it matters, but that's what's happening.
Of course.
In the comic world.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Ann Romney, we've given you people all you need to know. They're focusing on that right at this moment.
Yep.
Which sure is a story, but it could wait.
Yeah, Ann Romney.
Could wait.
Please.
All that shit could wait. Jesus. Want to take a break and we'll continue with this stuff?
Do that.
Maybe listen to the police scanner a little bit.
Oh yeah,
that police scanner stuff is really. I could listen to that all morning.
I listen to it at night.
Wow,
it's amazing.
Wow,
and that was like me playing porn right now. I'm playing that.
Yeah, I'm like ooh, what's going on?
People are telling me my headshot was in Louis last night. I didn't see it.
Oh, yeah, it was.
But that's the entrance to the... I saw the photo, but I didn't see the episode.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the entrance to the Comedy Cellar. That's when you walk into the cellar.
Yeah, they're talking. Louis is talking with somebody. And
Not
right
somebody,
in between
Bamford.
Them. Yeah.
Oh, was that Maria Bamford?
Yeah, I saw that episode, and they're having a moment, and you're right in the middle of them. Your headshot.
And Geraldo's is right above me. I saw the photo.
Yes. Yep. I meant to tell you that. I saw that. Whatever. Another great episode of Louis.
Yeah. All right. Why don't we eat something?
All right.
Let's go make love.
Sirius XM. The Opie and Anthony Show.
We're back. I'm chewing. Sorry. I try not to eat on the air anymore.
It smells fucking good.
Honestly, it's shit today. Egg whites and just dry wheat toast.
Oh,
I smell syrup.
Yeah, the syrup.
I got a little jelly on the side.
Something smells like syrup.
Sirius XM just ran a promo saying, hey, breaking news, go to our news channels. I would like to say that we're doing a fine job right here on the Opie and Anthony channel.
Yeah, you don't need to go to the news channels. What are they going to give you that we're not giving you?
Right. Well, I mean, I see why they would do that, but maybe leave that promo off our channel if you knew what we were about. We could take care of this, trust me.
We're giving
better than anybody.
We're giving very good news coverage just with some dirty words.
Right.
I don't know. Have we cursed?
We say
I
this
have a
guy's
little bit.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's what we say.
So what's the latest?
Well, now that all the networks are going to commercial now because I guess it's like it's hit that point where there's pretty much
CNN's still on it. Let's see what they got.
I feel good, a little shaked up, but I'm feeling. Thank God I got out alive. Me and my girlfriend.
Well, we're glad to see that. Thanks for that, for talking with us this morning. Appreciate it. This is live pictures, aerial shots of what we believe is the shooter's car. We know that this is the back entrance of the theater, and by numerous witness reports,
this would never have happened at the Alex.
The shooter came into the movie theater was through the exit, and was able to kick in one of the doors. By one person's description, so that he was right at the front of the theater while the movie was going. We believe that this is his vehicle because police had described a search.
Okay, let me go with this a little bit. So the car is in the back of the theater. He kicks open that door, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if someone helped him out. I wonder if someone got into the theater, got his ticket for the movie, knew where the exit was, and pried it open for the guy, and then left the theater, obviously, because he didn't want to be part of the massacre.
Let me tell you something.
How does he kick open that door from the back of the theater?
I'm going to say that because the exit door opening would make a noise, there's probably no way to prop that open. You know, a fire exit door, I imagine, sounds an alarm, right?
Not. Yeah, a lot of them do, but I don't know.
They're saying he's a lone gunman. And he's pretty much blurted out everything about the incendiary device in his car and his house and shit. So
how does he get into that back door?
Else.
They're kind of showing the door he could have entered in.
Oh, yeah?
I don't. It's not easy to get into a movie theater from the back like that. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know shit.
Let's see what
the scanners doing.
Scanners.
Police scanner, of course, from Aurora.
This is from Aurora,
Colorado.
Police scanner. They probably all the good stuff was on priority channels, which I don't have on here.
I knew an Aurora
Tactical channels. It's pretty quiet, quite frankly.
Well, we saw them at this gunman's apartment complex.
Yes, they had a little camera on a stick, and they were looking through the windows
to see what they could see inside, right?
I don't want anything to happen like on Speed, where they went to the guy's house, and remember that?
Right.
Someone sent me to this girl's Twitter. I don't know if this is true or not. I'm literally getting my news off Twitter, so this could be wrong. But last tweet...
Information only on a robbery that just occurred in Denver at gunpoint.
A robbery? Well, I would imagine if you were a criminal, you'd be an opportunist today and say,
take this opportunity to...
the odds are they're a little busy. I can maybe get something done quickly.
Last tweet from Jessica Redfield.
Yes.
Who was reportedly killed in the theater. She wrote, movie doesn't start for 20 minutes.
Oh.
She was just tweeting from the theater. People's last tweets from the theater will eventually now...
it's terrible.
And none of it was happening during, but they probably all just finished right before that movie started. There's something chilling about that.
Man. Damn. Oh, man. That's pretty bad. Shit's just like fucked up.
Yeah.
People got to just fucking knock this shit off. Hey, stop it. Hey, you. I'm shaking my fist. Hey, you.
The entrance is in the back. The fire exit is on the front or in the front. Brian is saying on the phones right now. Hold on. Let's just go to Brian. Brian, what's up?
Hey, what's up, guys? Well, the entrance to the movie theater is on the back, on the sides, but they have fire exits on each side of movie screens, like in every movie theater. So, maybe the guy propped it open himself, but normally you're not allowed to do that. Normally they got people watching it, especially with a movie like that.
Right, they're terrified about people filming and capturing video and selling it in the black market. So
the black market.
Yeah, everything's kind of beefed up.
Yeah.
All right, sir. Thank you. Let me go to Matt. Matt, what's up?
Good morning, boys. Unconfirmed report that was on the radio this morning and on television was that prior to the shooting, someone stepped out to take an emergency phone call and went out that exit door that the shooter apparently came in. So, could be how it happened.
Oh, yeah, reason to go out that door and maybe leave it pried open a little bit.
Right.
Who knows?
I'm wondering if that was possibly an accomplice. I don't know, but that was something that came out this morning. So
yeah, I'm a little suspicious. That's all.
Yeah,
I get he's a lone nut, but I mean, does he have a friend? I don't know. Who knows? Who the fuck knows?
It's hard to find two people.
Or maybe the guy with the emergency call. Now this is getting really crazy. Is the actual shooter? He goes out that door, keeps it pried open, puts his stuff on, and comes back in. Just a dumb thought. I want to acknowledge it's just a dumb thought.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. Thank you.
Thank you, boys.
I don't know. It's one of those things. Even if the doors open a crack, people know in the theater, in a dark theater.
You think?
You see when doors are open like that.
Midnight showing.
Like, stop it.
They like to try to keep everything dark.
Shut that fucking door.
I used to work at a theater, and you could open those doors really easily. I'm a firefighter, and it's impossible to open that door from the outside.
See, this is what the reports are.
Of course.
Just
of
people
course.
not knowing shit.
The gang unit was on scene. We've got to wrap things up, but is there really much of a gang problem in Aurora, Colorado?
The parking lot. What does that have to do with anything?
Sealed off. We have all the area bombs.
Well, a gang unit was sent to the theater. Well, they're going to send everybody.
Everybody, right?
Everybody's
chief talking on CNN.
Checking all the cars in the parking lot for explosives. That will go on for quite some time.
That was the police chief, Dan Coates, the Aurora police chief, updating people on what happened there. We have Christine monitoring what's happening in area hospitals.
And we know that the youngest victim so far of the theater shooting, a patient who is doing fine, we're told, an ER doctor telling KCNC the youngest patient is 3 months old, doing fine,
3 months.
thankfully. But a 3-month-old is the youngest patient. We know that so far
are you
the oldest
doing with a
patient we see in one of these
3-month-old?
hospitals is
In a movie
45-year-old.
theater that everybody wants to see the movie, you bring a 3-month-old
at
midnight.
6 patients,
Selfish, shitty
anywhere
parents.
from 6
Fucking
to
A.
31. The medical center of Aurora has, Denver Medical has 5 in fair condition, 11 in critical condition there. That's the issue here with this. Some people have tear gas, decontamination they're going through. Some people have some shrapnel injuries. Some people have grazing, and they're okay. They're in fair condition, but they have gunshot-related wounds. There are others, though, who are in surgery at this hour in critical condition, and it's a pretty still very dangerous moment for some of those people who were taken out of that theater. One thing that's interesting as well about the moments after this shooting, again, a midnight showing of The Dark Knight, some were taken to area hospitals and ambulances. Some came in on foot later as they realized that they had minor injuries, Soledad, and some came in the back of police cars. Police
as they realized they had minor injuries later on.
Oh, boy.
Walking out of the theater
What is that?
with the still not moving body of a small child, a little girl, a 6-year-old or a 9-year-old, depending on which eyewitness you're talking to. We still don't know the status of that child, but a child who was taken out of the theater unconscious.
Police spokesman said that they arrested the suspect in the rear of parking lot theater. He's reported to be 24 years old, a man who lives in North Aurora. We've seen aerial pictures of what is believed to be his residence.
Give a name,
which is
give a
surrounded
fucking
now by
everything.
SWAT
Come
teams
on.
and police and firefighters
They know.
And ambulances
Gotta know
as
at this
well.
point.
We've also seen pictures of what is believed to be the suspect's car, a white vehicle that we saw some of law enforcement searching a little bit earlier this morning. We're told that the gunman was heavily armed, wearing a gas mask and goggles as well, and heavily with the shotgun, a rifle, according to eyewitness descriptions, and also police say they found a third weapon gun in the theater. We want to get to John Berman. He's got an update on what is happening on Twitter, as people were really among the first to report what was going on in the movie theater.
Soledad, this is a national tragedy, and as you would expect, our nation's leaders are now weighing in. We have a statement I want to read you from President Obama, who says, "Michelle and I are shocked and saddened by the horrific and tragic shooting in Colorado. Federal and local law enforcement are still responding, and my administration will do everything that we can to support the people of Aurora in this extraordinarily difficult time.
Which means nothing.
We are committed to bringing whoever was responsible to justice, ensuring the safety of our people, and caring for those who have been wounded." This is President Obama. As we do when confronted by moments of darkness and challenge, we must now come together as one American family. All of us must have the people of Aurora in our thoughts and prayers as they confront the loss of family, friends, and neighbors, and we must stand together with them in the challenging hours and days to come. The president was informed of this shooting by his Homeland Security Advisor, John Brennan, around 5:30 a.m. this morning. FBI now racing to the scene to help out. Of course, Mitt Romney, the Republican nominee, presumptive nominee, also putting out a statement this morning. Mitt Romney says, his wife, Ann, and I are deeply saddened by the news of the senseless violence that took the lives of 15 people in Colorado and injured dozens more. He says 15 at this point, CNN reporting 14 people killed. Mitt Romney continues, "We are praying for the families and loved ones of the victims during this time of deep shock and immense grief. We expect that the person responsible for this terrible crime will be quickly."
By the way, why did they have to correct him during his statement?
Was scheduled to campaign.
Who cares what CNN's reporting?
Scheduled a campaign in Florida today. You can expect, I imagine, that their comments will be tempered somewhat today. Soledad.
Yeah, one would have to imagine. All right, John, thank you for that. The eyewitness description has been absolutely horrific as they describe the gunman entering the movie theater and then eventually just opening fire seemingly randomly at the people who, in some cases, still thought the movie was going on, still thought some of the noise
you would think that was part of the fucking, some kind of a weird promotional thing they were doing for the first, everyone's sitting there in shock.
Yeah.
She said that a man about 6 feet tall, taller than her, kicked through the door. And
I bet he's not that tall. People will always think in that situation that they
had a bulletproof vest on.
How do you kick through the door?
She said that he was completely covered in all black with goggles. And she said that after that point, when she saw that he was holding a shotgun, her and her boyfriend dropped to the floor and just kind of started to crawl to see if they could get away. They got up and they started to run through the emergency exit. She said that when she turned around, all she saw was the guy slowly making his way up the stairs just firing.
Chilling.
People. Just picking random people.
Fucking chilling.
It appears that there was some sort of smoke or gas. We're hearing reports of an explosion. We don't know if that was part of the smoke and gas or a separate device.
Explosive device from. So this is a very fluid investigation, but I continue to get more information about that now.
Horrible
So this
voice.
is going to be a full national investigation, bringing in ATF, FBI, who knows how many sources going to bring to bear. Rod, we're going to be coming back
UFC,
to you
NFL,
after this
NBA.
break, but I want to talk to you about how do people get the ability to get tear gas grenades? Is that legal? And should it be legal going forward?
It's not.
Because apparently the guy was wearing a
should it
gas
be legal?
mask in the theater moments before he set off,
dummy.
It's not legal.
some sort of tear gas explosive
Now we gotta
device.
figure out how
and then,
he had
as
tear
the people
gas.
started to panic, to run out, he was down front, and he started shooting.
Yes.
And we are going to have more breaking.
Same thing with a lady that just all out of it. By the time I left, I overheard the nurses saying they've managed to get most everyone stabilized, which is a blessing. It really is.
He did not resist. He did not put up a fight. I don't know the exact details if the officers surprised him or how it actually happened, but I know some of the first officers that arrived within, I don't know if it was seconds, maximum a couple minutes, found him behind the theater at his car and took him into custody there.
That's some of what the eyewitnesses on the scene have been saying this morning in the wake of this terrible tragedy. 14 people is the number given to us by police.
All right. We got to catch up with breaks, and we'll get
catch up.
Donald Trump Jr. in here.
Is he here?
I would imagine he's the
Trumpster.
He's close, if not here already. Yeah. What is Piers saying on Twitter? More Americans will buy guns after this to defend themselves, and so the dangerous spiral descends.
What does that mean?
How does it stop?
Take your English fucking bullshit back to England, you cocksucker. The fuck does that mean? Stop trying to put an agenda on this. They take something like this, a tragedy, and they always try to put some kind of fucking agenda to it. Well, we gotta stop these. You know what? I love guns. Love them. I'm not gonna fucking go and start shooting up a movie theater. Don't worry about it, Piers. And as are the large, vast majority of responsible, legal gun owners.
Almost all.
Yes. This will happen. This fucking happens. It's a horrible world we live in where horrible things happen sometimes. It doesn't mean you got to then take everything away from people when somebody uses something for evil. You know?
Because really, drunk driving kills a lot more people than random shooters. And they don't talk about taking away cars or alcohol. They don't talk about banning alcohol.
Ban alcohol.
When drunk driving kills people.
Alcohol and cigarettes, the biggest killers in this fucking country.
Which is way worse than guns. Way the fuck worse.
God, you can't fucking... When is this going to stop? Shut up. Go get some bobbies to protect you. Those fruits with their dumb big hats and little clubs. Oh, I've had it with that. I would, something, yeah, you could say that if somebody perhaps had a gun in the theater, maybe the fucking count wouldn't have been. He wouldn't have stood up and started joining the other gunmen and shooting the patrons. Perhaps he would have shot the gunman. How about what happened in that internet cafe? Where an older gentleman got up that was armed and started shooting at the guys that were robbing the place. What if he wasn't there? Who knows how that story might have turned out? Maybe those guys would have shot some of the people in that place.
Right.
You never know what would have happened. But it didn't happen because there was an armed guy in the fucking internet cafe.
Does everyone know that story?
I don't think so.
Well, what happened quickly?
An elderly gentleman was sitting there with his wife at an internet cafe.
Right.
Two gentlemen walked in with masks on, one with a gun, one with a baseball bat, and started robbing the people that were in there of their valuables. Well, this guy stood up, drew his gun, and just started firing at these motherfuckers who were shocked that they were being shot at and started running out of the place.
But you don't hear reports of that. Like, literally, that might have saved...
Yes.
Say that saved 3 lives. Let's just say 3 lives were saved.
Yes.
Why isn't Piers going on, or any of these guys going on Twitter and going, when will more Americans get guns and stop these horrible random crimes? everyone is fucking. Everyone has an agenda.
How about this guy? Let's say this was happening right now. This horrible story out of Aurora. The guy stands up. Mm-hmm. He shoots a person. Mm-hmm. A guy stands up that has a legal gun and shoots the guy in the face. He drops. One person's dead. It's tragic. But this would have been a story. They wouldn't have been covering it like this. It would have been, hey, somebody was shot in a movie theater, and the gunman was killed by a legal gun owner. But now it's a big story because that didn't happen.
Right.
It's
Pierce says lunatics like this will always try and get guns. It should be 100,000 times harder than it is for them to do so. That's my point.
100,000 times harder to get the guns.
How do you know how we don't even know how he got the guns yet. You don't know how he got the guns.
Drugs are illegal. People get them.
Yes.
Guns are illegal to have in many instances, or very strictly regulated. People get them. It's there's going to be bad things that happen. It's not the fault of the hardware. Yes, guns make it much easier to kill people. I understand that argument. But cars, booze, cigarettes, you
a hat that's made of some type of toxic material?
Oh, well, poisonous hat.
Why don't we're going to break. Donald Trump Jr. is here. He's going to join the show next.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know.
He's a gun enthusiast.
We'll figure out what to do next, but certainly we're going to stay on this because it's a biggie. And the news is changing every single minute here, so stay there.
Sirius XM. This is the Opie and Anthony Show.
We got Donald Trump Jr. joining the show, friend of ours. What's up, Donald?
What's going on, guys?
Hey, buddy. Oh, jeez, it's one of those UGG shows. We couldn't have been more silly yesterday. We had just a dumb, silly, really good radio show with Dice and Florentine and the stripper that wouldn't get naked. Jimmy's birthday. Everyone had a good time. We went home. We're laughing. I was laughing all day yesterday because of how silly the show was. And then you wake up and it's an UGG show.
Yeah, it's a little more gloomy.
Yeah. All right. What's your thoughts?
I think it's a shame that this stuff happens. You know what I mean? I don't know what the motivation is, but
it's usually a selfish guy that wants to be noticed, has an agenda, some manifesto.
Some lame agenda, you should say.
And the worst part is, in about 3 minutes, it's going to be political as opposed to emotional. This is going to be the poster for the next. At least conceivable 4 or 5 hours that these guys will go after each other on various things, trying to make it into something it's not,
Yep, that's exactly it, man. The media has a way of doing that.
Well, Piers is focusing on the gun issue. Already.
Listen, it's someone who wants to do this. To me, it's, and this sounds horrible 15 minutes after the fact.
Right.
It's not a gun. If someone wants to do something like this, they'll figure out a way to do this. There's no... this is you're dealing with a psychopath. You're not dealing with
a rational
someone who's,
guy.
Well, I'm going to do this because I have a gun. Like, give me a break, guys. Like, that's crazy.
And then when they legislate more, they don't go, well, I'm crazy and I really want to shoot up this place, but it's illegal.
Right.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the biggest problem. Is like, to me, gun control, the only thing that it controls is people who are actually willing to play by the law.
Right.
So, this guy is clearly not. So, by the way, if there were no guns in existence, he would figure out a way to do something like this, whether it's with a bomb or whether with gasoline or something.
Right.
I mean, and that's the real problem. All you're doing is preventing people who perhaps could defend themselves otherwise.
Yes, exactly.
From doing so. I mean, and that's, I strongly believe in that, as horrible as it is to say, even 15 minutes after the fact. I mean, it's...
Yeah. Well, it's easy to say because guns are going to be brought up a lot in the next few days. So what is the solution with the gun thing, you think? Tougher laws?
Well, listen, I mean, if you look back historically, any place where they've eliminated the guns, it usually leads to some sort of, genocide or disaster, whether it be, Russia during the Stalin years. If you look at, prior to, say, Nazi Germany, the roundup, all of these, places in I mean, every place in the world where they basically said eliminated guns, you're just preventing the people from defending themselves. And
America's not going to get rid of guns anytime soon, obviously.
That's also the issue. I mean, if you could say, fine, I'll eliminate every gun imaginable, perhaps it'd be different. But there'll always be a black market for guns. So
Pandora's box is opened.
All you're doing is preventing the people from, who will actually follow the laws from doing it, because you can never eliminate the black market. This guy's never thinking about, what are the laws? I mean, he knows he's either going. Colorado's a death penalty state. He's going to, I just hope they accelerate the process so we don't waste a lot of taxpayer money. This guy. He's a nice guy, but he's a little crazy. He's,
what about
they're going to put this guy on death row for 25 years.
Let's not forget about that Jared guy.
Jared Loughner,
Yeah, they haven't accelerated anything with him.
They're saying this guy's name is James Holmes, born December 13th of 87. That's what the name
James
of this
Holmes
guy's coming out as. I don't know if it's true, but
that's crazy white guy.
That does sound like a crazy. We're trying to figure
crazy
out
white guy.
No middle name yet.
Not yet.
All of the psychos always have the middle name.
Do they give that to mass murderers, or is it only? This is a mass murderer, whereas a serial killer only get the three names. John Wayne Gacy, but Ted Bundy only had 2. But I don't know if mass murderers get them. You know what I mean?
Drugs obviously illegal. They're plenty available.
I was at the Roger Waters concert last week. I think I can attest to that.
Yeah. See,
a lot of pot in the air.
Yeah,
drunk driving, very illegal. People do it. Take lives all the time. Legislating against bad things doesn't work against the people that are just going to continue to do them.
I agree.
It's not that easy, is what you're saying.
If you look at Switzerland, they actually issue guns to every family in Switzerland, and they teach them how to use them, and they have the lowest crime rate, as it relates to gun violence anywhere in the world. So
but they're just weird over there. Let's be honest with each other.
Perhaps,
they're very strange.
You can point to examples, and I don't know that there's any any proof that says gun control actually does anything. Frankly, in most of the places where they get a little bit looser on the laws, allowing good citizens to have them. I mean, I know there's a lot of stats out there that showing the crime rate goes down because knowing there may be a gun in a home is certainly a deterrent. It was a deterrent to the Japanese when they discussed invading the United States during World War II.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like, wait a minute. They're all armed. Every single
that
house.
was a legitimate thought by their military command.
Yep.
That's just horrible.
Yeah, it's depressing. It's fucking depressing. We're just watching the news coverage. How awful MSM. And it's not a political thing, because CNN's doing the right thing. CNN and Fox both covering it, and MSNBC, I don't know, Morning Joe and this fucking horrible nudge he hosts, this fun stopper that he hosts with.
Talking about Bain Capital, and it's like maybe that could wait the day.
Really?
While you have an unfolding story here.
Well, I mean, that's 100%. And yet those are real stories, because you got, the president attacking small businesses. I mean, yesterday's quote's like, well, you didn't make it on your own. It's like, really? Like, I don't know, man. I deal with a lot of small businesses. I deal with a lot of guys that are, own construction companies. They have their life guaranteed. Their house is on the line. Like, to me, that's different than someone that shows up 9 to 5, punches the clock, does some work, gets a paycheck.
Right.
Like, those guys, and there's definitely really valuable employees. I've seen that too. But for the president to basically say, well, you didn't do it on your own. It's like, I don't know, man. Those guys took some serious risks for the most part in small business. And so, I mean, to me, that's still a big issue. 15 minutes after an incident like this, maybe you don't talk about it, but it's important, because it either means that the president is totally clueless, or he's just pandering to a political side, because there's more people that would love to believe that they're indispensable who show up 9 to 5 and punch a ticket than people who are small business owners. Either way, it's bullshit.
When he started going off about that, and the logic behind it was, hey, look, you used the roads to drive your materials. Who was that woman? What's her name? She had the same take on this as Obama did. Or
I know who you're talking about. I can't think of the name right now.
It slips my mind right about now.
I try to block people like that out of my memory if I possibly can.
But it was it's like they trying to make it sound like, look, the government was there to help you with the business, but it's like, no, the businesses are there to keep your job.
Yeah,
you're there to serve the people.
Yeah, the government's not the thing making all of these things happen. And I mean, that's what they're trying to make. I mean, trying to sell that story just goes to show how out of their minds these people are.
Out of touch and anti-capitalist and capitalism.
We just might have his Facebook page. So, Sam.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Here.
Can you throw it first tweet so he doesn't?
Sorry.
Yes.
Well, guys, this interview is going to suck. You guys are never having me back.
I know, right? What the fuck?
No, stop. It's just a weird day.
It's a very weird. It's hard to not acknowledge it because it's like it's unfolding. They just keep coming out with like shots of his apartment.
We want to talk about those horrible bunkers in Scotland.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with the golf in Scotland, and you guys just opened up a course there. Yeah, I saw you tweeting about it.
It came out awesome, man. I mean, you know, Sandy Jones, the head of the PGA, was there. You know, he saw it, and he basically at the press conference. And I mean, this is a political thing for him in that world. You know, if you're the head of the PGA, when he says, you know, it's a top 3 course. The problem is I can't name number 2 and 3. You know, and this is a guy who makes his living traveling the world to see golf courses for tournaments and these sort of things. So
who designs your courses?
Everywhere's different. Over there, it's a links style course. So Martin Hawtrey, he's the guy that does it for all the links courses over there for the Royal and Ancient.
So you got the main guy, is what I'm saying.
You know, his grandfather built most of the open venues 100 years ago. I mean, it really is a special place. I mean, the land is just so good. I mean, I could have designed an incredible course there because the land is just, you know, so amazing. So Colin Montgomery was out there opening it up.
Oh, really?
You know, I played in the second foursome with Martin Laird, who's, you know, top 30 golfer right now. And needless to say, that was a humbling experience.
Oh, yeah, huh?
Yeah, I'm like, you know, I'm pretty long off the tee. I'm a horrible golfer, but I have some distance.
Drive, yeah.
You know, and this guy's blowing it past me at like 60 yards, and I'm just like, oh my God, it's ridiculous.
How is it to play there? Like, I hear it's you know, the wind and.
It's a very different game. You know, it's not like golf like you play here I mean, it's almost like a separate sport, but you use the same equipment because, you know, there, you know, a lot of the game is about rolling the ball. You know, you keep it low because the wind really affects it. So it's not like, well, I'm going to shoot it there and the ball's just going to rest. The greens are designed to be fast. I mean, you know, you may be putting from 60 yards out kind of thing. It's a different game. You got the dunes on the side. If you go in there, you're dead.
Yeah, they go with the giant greens over there. I mean, giant.
Yeah, it's a totally different sport. You know, the wind, you know, they play in the rain, they play in the snow. They don't care. It's a different.
And those bunkers, man, with that just wall.
Yeah, they're revetted bunkers. They basically take turf and like stack it upside down on top of each other, so it makes almost like a sod wall.
Yeah,
and, you know, it's vertical. It's a lot harder to get out of.
Yeah, you got to pop it over that thing or go backwards.
Yeah,
damn. Is that him, Sam, or no?
That can't be him because they said it. They
said
it's a white guy that did it.
They did say it's a white guy. Well, this guy's going to get a lot of.
Where is he from?
Attention on his Facebook page.
He lives in Aurora.
Then maybe because I also heard witness had said they thought he was an Indian guy.
Oh man!
So they could have mistaken a light-skinned black guy for an Indian guy, or maybe the news is just right and the name is a different guy.
Well, the news is often not right. So
that's true too. You know, when they said white,
but they'll never let that get in the way of a good story. You know?
Nope, that's true.
Let's hit this for a second.
Else kept at a distance, according to reporters there. It has not been confirmed that this is the shooter's apartment complex, but between this location and
what else could it be?
Anyway,
either that,
vehicle that we believe
there's a bomb squad outside the window. Why else would they be in Aurora, dummy?
Because this is exactly what law enforcement
Sometimes you can just go with
this. About all morning.
We haven't confirmed this yet.
Investigation on this particular building, and obviously continuing to
breaking the window.
So he's breaking the window. Like if I were him, I would be off to the side instead of in front of the window. Like there is a bomb.
To authorities, they have not elaborated on what those items.
They're probably figuring it's hooked. They're probably figuring it's hooked up to the door, not the fucking window.
We're going to come back in just a moment. Continue to cover this.
I don't know. I gamble my life on that.
Yeah, I would.
12 people dead, 38 others.
I would go through the roof.
Very, very seriously.
Cut a hole.
No, this guy
told they were reporting 14 dead. Then I heard 15. Now they're saying 12.
Yeah, well, that number's going to change, obviously.
But this guy told them there's a bomb in the car. He told them there's a bomb in his house, whatever. Why does he want this information out there? Like,
yeah, if you're trying to kill people, you want the element of surprise.
Unless he wants them to find what
you're looking
he
at
has.
images from overnight.
Probably
where
got, like I said, he'll have some kind of manifesto.
Theater. They were showing at midnight.
It's going to be one of these guys.
Little nobody who needs to be heard.
Yeah, he didn't want to, you know, draw his gun when all the cops are out there and die in a blaze of glory because he knows he's going to be. We don't know who he is right now, but boy, he is going to be the most popular guy. In a few hours. Everyone's going to know his name. Everyone's going to see his picture. You're not going to be able to get away from this guy's picture. He will be the most known person in this country in a few hours.
Is that him,
question.
Sam?
Yeah.
No, you're just...
You're just searching every James Holmes. Unfortunately, I think there's probably...
That's a pretty common name.
Yeah.
In Colorado.
Jimmy Holmes.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, I think...
That black guy's the only one in Aurora.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, but they said he may have had, check Tennessee, because they said that his car may have had Tennessee plates. Is something I remember seeing. So
and so maybe he just recently moved there and still didn't.
Did you look at the content of that site to see what that guy wrote about?
Yeah, a little. I mean, he was a personal trainer. He doesn't have anything about superheroes.
Nothing about craziness.
No, he likes beer.
All right.
He's a whack job.
Likes beer. That's crazy.
I don't think it's a guy that likes beer. I think
works out and likes
I will
beer.
get healthier. I will look better. I will eat right.
Oh, this guy sounds like a nut.
Oh boy.
Why would you ever do that?
What else?
He's got pictures of kids and stuff on there. I don't think that's the guy.
Yeah, I don't think so.
A relative.
But if he lives in Aurora, he's going to get shit for a long time.
Of course.
Oh man. He's like, God damn.
I want to go through the process of changing your name.
Yeah.
Yes, Jimmy.
They're saying now it's reported he crashed his car into the fire door.
Stop.
And then tossed the tear gas in and came in shooting. But his car looked to be parked.
Yeah, his car wasn't
right
there.
Yeah, no,
it was in the spot.
I mean, they were going through it, with like one of those bomb robots and stuff like that.
It was in the spot, right? Yeah.
Well, you're going to get all sorts of crazy reports until they figure it out.
Yeah, it's going to take a while to get an accurate assessment.
Right.
No manifestos on that page? Nothing, Samuel?
He's got a really nice watch.
Oh. Hey, give him a watch. You looking to pawn that or sell it?
Was that James Cameron? Because someone's saying James Cameron was in an adjacent theater. Was that the director who just lives out there or no? Okay.
I would doubt
I think he'd get a screener.
Yeah. No, but I mean, maybe he wanted to go.
I would think he would have seen it before this.
Yeah. Right.
Some people like to go to the theater. Like maybe he wanted to go see it in the theater with people.
Yeah.
I don't think people are going to the theater for a while.
Yeah. That's another thing.
This is going to fuck up the numbers.
Oh, yeah.
People are going to be scared to go tonight.
And I heard it was good, but,
It was good. Doesn't really matter. It's
Jimmy. I ain't bringing my kids. Well, I mean, that was the strange thing, by the way. It was like a midnight showing, and I'm hearing about like 3-month-olds getting shot. Like, who brings a 3-month-old to a midnight showing
Selfish
of like an R movie? Like
someone that couldn't find a babysitter.
Just gonna have the baby crying during the movie.
I don't know, man. It's just rude because of exactly what you just said, Ant. Like, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think it's something I would do.
Yeah.
But hey,
I don't either. Well, we'll have more info. Don't worry, we're your news station right here.
Sure. Broken the window.
Through the window of the apartment building. What happened? You were woken up and they said what?
Well, actually, it started going on around 1 a.m. this morning. I heard a lot of commotion outside, so me and my sister, we went outside to see what's going on. And next thing you know, we've seen all kinds of police running us with the vests on, and they had guns like drawn and running towards the apartment building. And at first, I thought it was the apartment building I lived in, so I was like, "Hey, should we be concerned?" They're like, "No, it's fine. Just go back inside." Then I seen the SWAT pull up, the bomb squad, and there were canines, and I was like, what's wrong? Like, do I need to be worried? And
Where's
they're
he
just
from?
like, no, go inside.
Tennessee?
Yeah, this guy's a little bit. This guy's a little different. He's got the shaved head. It seemed like there were a lot of minorities being interviewed.
A lot of tattoos.
On the news today. So yeah, that guy looks a lot more like a James Holmes. I think we may be onto something with the Tennessee thing.
Man, this guy looks a little.
Yeah, the full chest skull tattoo.
Yeah.
Not that we want to stereotype.
Death before dishonor. He's got tattooed on him. On himself.
And it's actually written backwards. Well, maybe that's because he's taking a picture.
I think it's in the mirror
there. So you can see it when he's running behind your car trying to kill you.
His about page says, all my experiences have been real. Everything that I've been through has endured has been real, and I've been real to a lot of fake-ass people. But through all that, I figured out some real-ass mottos to share. Okay, and he's got his dumb... I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know?
The guy's either really stupid or the killer. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's 50-50.
Yeah.
And he,
or both.
He's got pictures kissing his chick, and this might just be a regular dude.
He looks a little crazy.
Because chances are, whoever did this just got dumped.
Well, that looks like a mugshot, doesn't it?
Yeah, really.
That looks like a mugshot. He's wearing like an orange jumpsuit.
And he puts on his Facebook
and you put
page?
that on your Facebook
He's proud of his mugshots. That
might be...
I don't know, guys. We may be onto something.
He has a good profile. That's probably why.
I'm willing to just jump to
it'd be huge if you guys were the guys that discovered who the identity of this guy first. You know?
Yeah. Oh, boy. I don't know what the hell
is that like his naked wife lying on the couch with his kid?
No, that's another kid.
Oh.
I thought that for
some
some.
Yeah. Looked like
some boob action there.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah, but that looks like it's a little girl with no shirt on.
It's a boy.
It is.
Yeah. Wow, that's fucked up. I don't know. I'm willing to say yes. I'm just going.
I'm all in. Fry him.
I don't need. Yeah, get that guy.
The apartment across is we evacuated them, and we believe that there is
they don't want to go in there.
Bomb-making materials located inside of that apartment, so we need to evacuate the whole area.
So they were very clear with you. Describe for me, I'm looking at a very tight shot of this apartment complex. It looks sort of medium-sized. Can you describe for me what the neighborhood's like and what this apartment complex, the one that's now surrounded by SWAT, is like?
Well, usually it's a pretty, calm area. It's like there's a school on the same block as the apartment that you're looking at. It's a really, cool, calm, collected area, but lately there's been a lot of police activity, and I don't know, maybe it's because a lot of things have been happening in Aurora, like shootings and stuff, but there's a lot of police activity lately, and I just thought it was another one of them days, one of the nights that the police were here again, but it's usually before the summer started, it was a cool area, you weren't afraid to be outside.
And is it an area frequented by young people? How would you describe the neighborhood to somebody?
It's majority families because it's right in the school. There's a school right in the area.
Our continuing coverage
working families
of the Aurora shooting
and a lot of young children live around here.
So where's everybody been moved to? I mean, where are you right now? Because obviously you got to move a distance back from that building, which is right near your building, and of course all the people in that building. And we're looking at live pictures of what we believe is the suspects'
They're by the window
apartment building.
In a cherry picker from the fire truck.
The fire department using a crane trying to
not
gain
want to go in that window immediately.
Where's everybody been put?
They got them little cameras on a stick there.
They evacuated two blocks, the whole perimeter. And they just have us, we're probably about 5 blocks away from the scene. And they really didn't tell us too much. They just told us that we could be taken to a gym.
Oh, boy.
If we needed somewhere to go. But besides
why did he tell the cops?
Told us, go stand on the
Unless
corner.
he was just listing stuff that's at his
Rebecca
house.
Bradshaw updating us on what's happening in her neighborhood. This is North Aurora, and she describes it as a family, a neighborhood full of families. It's now the focus of a SWAT team, and you can see the fire truck. They're trying to gain access to that apartment building through the window. They've been doing this now for the last hour plus that we've been watching it. Rebecca says that she heard a booming sound that she would describe as some kind of explosion from this apartment building. She said the police showed up with their guns drawn, sent everybody back inside to her complex, which is across the street. She says SWAT team, bomb squad, canine unit as well. And she said eventually, in the last couple of hours, they were evacuated, being told by the police doing the evacuation that we believe that there is bomb-making material inside that particular apartment building. This is consistent with what the police chief told us early this morning in the very early hours after this terrible shooting at this movie theater. That in fact that they were searching the apartment
somebody's
of
twittering
the shooter.
That Elvis Duran said the movie should be pulled ASAP.
Yeah, I guess so.
Why would
I got that too?
Why would he say that?
Is he really that much of a dope?
That's pretty sad. Yeah, suspect identified as James Holmes. Police have a 24-year-old man in custody.
Yeah.
24-year-old James.
How old's the guy on the Facebook page, Sam?
He didn't have his age.
I don't know. That guy didn't look that old, but he may have looked older than 24.
That guy looks.
That guy doesn't look
no.
Too good looking to kill people.
Yeah, he's a great body.
Do you have to be
I don't know what you're talking about, buddy.
Yeah. Do you have to?
His words, not mine.
Yeah. What's going on there, sir?
Just a handsome guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see Fred Willard on the.
on
Fox Business.
He thought he skated today.
Yeah, he was like, he's the only person in America that was happy about this thing, because we would have had a lot of fun with that one today.
Oh, man. Yes.
The old hole in the bottom of the popcorn trick, you know?
Yeah, he was in a porno theater, Fred Willard. You know him from all those great Christopher Guest movies. Yeah. He was in a porno theater, and they apparently caught him spanking it. He was jacking in the theater. But it's like it's a porno theater. Leave the guy alone.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going there in the first place, I don't know, like you going there for the content? Like,
yeah, the odds are you might pull out your dick.
I want to see the plot.
Right. Who's going to be offended, by the way? If you're I don't think anyone in the theater even cared that he was jacking off.
A seedy adult theater? Really?
Yeah.
Gives a fuck.
How embarrassing.
Honestly, given all of the content, not that I know about any of this stuff, for the record. But, given all the content that's out there how is the porn industry a multi-billion-dollar industry?
Yeah.
Isn't there enough that you can get for free that you
for free in the privacy of your own home?
Well,
why
that
are you
changed
going
recently.
to a movie?
They're losing money.
It's pop-up ads. The only thing they're making the money.
Yeah, they're losing a lot of money now.
Yeah.
But
X-Hamster's a great site.
But for a long time, sure, they made a shitload.
Phenomenal.
I guess he just didn't know how to use a computer.
Maybe that's what it is. He's sort of that generation that
have no evidence
didn't realize there's a pretty big cache of free stuff out there.
In any way.
Or terrorism.
Terrorism. But under the law, under federal law, there may be a charge of terrorism that could be lodged against Mr. Holmes if, in fact, he's formally accused. And there are certain statutes in the state of Colorado that may speak to this kind of conduct. So not the type of al-Qaeda terrorism, but
homegrown terrorism.
Now you're going to get all of this one.
Homegrown terrorism.
If he's guilty of it, try him, let him appeal, do it in about 3 weeks,
and
fry the fucker.
And then just done with him.
What on earth is our society coming to where you can't even go see a movie that has
Jared Loughner was Arizona.
You can't go see a movie. You can see a movie. This is very rare.
This never happened.
It never happened. What is society when you can't go see a movie? I think if you go to the movies right now, you'll probably be fine.
How many movies were shown last night? Where people were fine. How many theaters were open
it's
for
like the
business
gun
last
owner.
night?
There were 65 million gun owners who didn't kill anyone yesterday.
Didn't kill anyone. Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're never going to be perfect.
No.
They got the windows out, and they're still just taking a peek in there.
Yeah.
Would you crawl through that window, Ed?
No. No, I saw that. You ever see Speed? Oh, my God. They go into his house. He looks.
Yeah.
And kablamo.
Yeah. That's where I do want to be management,
Yeah.
I think you should go in now. Maybe look a little bit to the left there. Just report on the radio how you're doing.
Tell me what's in there. Go ahead.
That's a really small apartment complex. They got an aerial view now. It doesn't look like many apartments at all.
Yeah,
it's one cracker box kind of building.
Not complex at all.
Probably maybe 12 apartments total, I would guess.
Yeah, maybe.
What a shitty little
3
building.
floors. That is a shit. Oh, there's another building next to it.
Quite sure what they're doing, if they're trying to gain access through the window, or if they're just continuing to work from the window.
Yeah.
Did you hear her? She goes, well, we're not really sure quite what they're doing if they're trying to gain access. Of course they're gaining access. They want to get inside, but they're being very cautious.
They're checking the drapes against the carpet to see if the colors match.
Maybe MSNBC's right. Maybe they know they would just have rambling idiots on like this.
By the way, there is some truth to what you did. I mean, because in 3 hours, they will know nothing more.
Right.
And it will still be, not that it won't be a news story, but they'll tell you the same thing 1,000 times. There's nothing worse than that in the news cycle, because I'll listen to it sometimes in the background when I'm at the office. It's like, how many times can I hear the story of what someone said in it? It's a 20-minute loop. It's basically a
But you can't help yourself.
Over and over.
You sit in front of that TV with these big events, and you just take it all in.
Yeah.
You can't help yourself. But you're right. Not much changes.
Poking around with a very long stick. I like it. It's 2012, and people still poke things with sticks. It's fantastic.
That's how far we've come.
That's how far we've come. What are you doing? I don't know. Poke it with a stick. See what it does. Damn it.
Pulling his screen out.
All right, they're getting close to.
They're looking in the bathroom, I guess.
I hope you're
kitchen?
okay.
Yeah, that looks like a kitchen window.
William,
the bathroom's a little square
Mark
one.
Stewart is a reporter from KMGH, and he's joining us now with
How
an
scary
update
would it
on
be?
Back his bedroom.
How scary would it be to get in that apartment and slowly make your way around it?
You're covering and what you're seeing.
Fire department are fucking crazy, man. They really are.
The apartment complex in suburban Denver that was being searched. There's also an extensive search still taking place here on the crime scene in this movie theater parking lot. As you
Items
can see
of
behind
interest
me,
inside.
all of the cars
it's like
are
a nice
still
sculpture.
here.
That's interesting.
What detectives
Very interested
are doing
in that.
now, and it's not just detectives from Denver, but from really across the whole state. We've also learned the FBI is here. They're going through this entire parking lot, looking at each of the cars. Perhaps there is something there, something left behind that can't explain what happened. We have been talking to the local police here all morning long, and one thing that they have wanted to stress to us is that things have been changing. And at this point, they are telling us that at least 12 people are dead. 2 of the people passed away in the hospital. The other 10 passed away here at the movie theater, and at least 50 people injured.
Yeah,
a lot of people here have been concerned because
nothing new there.
I wonder if this guy was a fired movie theater employee, or he just some weird shit just happened. It's always right after something, unless they're completely nuts.
Like the postal guy.
Yeah, it's something in his life. He got dumped.
It left her like just manic depressive,
girl
crazy,
fired or something. Maybe
his wife left him.
Something lame like that, and he's got to fucking be an asshole.
Yeah, and get a little attention for himself.
On people watching.
Well, that one again. If I don't think I saw someone who wasn't like a minority, being interviewed, and if they're saying it's a 24-year-old white guy, that's and that'll be the next part of the story, because that's different than a disgruntled employee, because that brings up the whole racism argument.
Racism, yeah. Well, we'll see. Like I said, in no time, we're going to know exactly who this guy is.
Check the police scanner. They're saying it's saying that the boyfriend of one of the victims is on his way to kill shooter's family members.
What?
Again, that could be total nonsense. I'm getting it off Twitter. But,
that's where I go for my news.
My news.
You'd be surprised how much comes out, though.
Honestly, I see about a lot of stuff there first.
Yeah.
It's not always the most accurate, but the first time you hear,
I trust Twitter before half this other
all
shit.
That stuff is,
let's go to the police scanner.
Engineer is also responding with senior point of contact will be with an officer unit 322. This injury is for an unknown age party.
Suspect is north side of the hospital.
Requesting a cold response.
Okay, suspects north side of the hospital. Registered, regular T10 build, male, white, and all cars free to respond to Aurora South Dakota on scene.
He will be in for 322.
Suspect of what?
Is that Aurora, Colorado, or is that police?
No, this is
Aurora, Colorado.
How'd you pull that up?
They got some great apps on this thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, police scanner app. It just. I usually listen to the Chicago one at night. Wow,
just for fun.
It's insane. It's like an action movie. It's crazy. Helicopters, freaking car chases, gunfire. Chicago's a crazy place. And by the way, we'll be there. August 10th.
CBS is reporting suspect's apartment is booby-trapped, and police can see what looks like buckets of ammunition.
Say breast.
Shut down probably the routine around no. You're going to stage at 17th in Oswego. Code 4 with the party out front of the main entrance.
If you want to dispatch copies, code 4 is south, party at the front entrance.
A party?
Metro 14, you've got a whole bunch of people coming towards you. Do you need any more bodies? Engine we're in contact.
A whole bunch of people coming at you? What is this, like a mob?
Happening? Yeah.
Let's find out here.
A lynch mob.
By the way, that's much more interesting than the same old thing they're telling us on the news.
I know, right?
Come up and I'll either I'm over here at Perry or your traffic and 17th, and I'll give you an update of what's going on here. Head to 1, okay.
Whoa. I don't know what's happening.
Let's
Jesus Christ. Tell me. Yeah. Go ahead.
626, thanks.
Go ahead, 626.
Roger, what's your vector, Victor? Have you ever seen a grown man naked?
Like movies about gladiators?
Correction, dispatch to unit, Union 30.
I'm looking for Detective Day. Where is he?
He's down here out front talking to the party. What do you need?
Party? There's no time up for that.
Here, Gateway High School.
Uh-huh. Anything else?
Again, any units that didn't copy, if you were en route to south initially, it's code 4 there. You can go back to your original assignments.
Oh, okay. Nothing big.
Yeah.
Nothing big going on. Yeah, these apps are fucking fantastic. Just listen to horrid shit all night long. Death and mayhem.
Yeah.
I downloaded a few of these, and whenever anything happens around the country, you could just pop it up and listen. It's
That's
better
actually
than just
pretty
listening
cool.
to the
Yeah,
news, you know? The news just has...
Well, that's where they grab their info.
They probably do, but they can't confirm it.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
my point is that they get the info from there, but they're way behind because then they eventually get it to air.
Yeah, because they got to confirm it. I'd much rather have the alleged info and assume it's right.
Yeah. The alleged info.
I can always adjust my thoughts later.
Right, I can always apologize if I'm wrong.
And if it's wrong, who cares? We're on a new show.
Yeah, exactly.
Dick joke fest.
Yeah. Did you read Jessica Redfield's Twitter earlier? Was that the one?
Yes.
Yeah, just one of the victims. She was a reporter. She's now dead.
Wow. Well, she was. Oh, that was accurate.
Her last 4 tweets. Of course, we're seeing Dark Knight, redheaded Texan Spitfire. People should never argue with me. Maybe I should get in on those NHL talks. And then someone goes, Jessica, you aren't seeing it tonight. And then she writes, loser. And then she writes, movie doesn't start for 20 minutes.
Yep, that's the last tweet.
And they're confirming she's one of the ones killed?
I believe so,
yeah. I read that earlier.
Yes. Looks like she might be a fan of ours, too, because she follows us.
What? No way.
Yeah.
Do most of your fans follow because they like you or because they despise you? Do you have do you have an element of both?
Of course we do.
Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure, based on some of the commentary I get, it's like I have more people that follow me that hate just because they want to respond like that, you know. And then I just have fun when they make like grammatical errors or they can't complete a coherent sentence. It's just, you know, it's just
you get people that are obsessed with their hate for you.
Oh, it's great. By the way, I think it's so amusing. Like when I have time to kill with all my travel schedule, like at an airport and stuff like that, it's just so fun to like they think it actually affects me, which is
right. Yep,
sort of amazing. So it's funny.
They do though. We get a few people like that. They usually have no followers.
John Berman is following what some of the state.
Well, they have no followers because they just keep making new accounts.
Yeah.
And they think we don't know.
I just block them now.
It's just so stupid.
I don't even really comment that much anymore. I just fucking block them. Gone.
Yeah, I like to respond and then block. That way you get the last word.
That is, I do that, yeah.
Federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies continue to respond to this.
Because there's nothing new for now. For now.
By tonight, there'll be a lot of information about this plot.
I just want to see what they're doing with this apartment right now.
Nothing.
They keep going back to that.
Yeah. They're,
you do realize how fucking out of touch the newspaper is, though? Like, of course, there's nothing in the morning's papers. There couldn't be, but it's like you don't even want to look at it.
It makes you wonder. I wake up every morning. I read the Post before I go to the gym. It's like I don't know why I do
out
that.
of habit.
By the time,
because that's what we
everything
knew.
that's in there, I basically know already.
It's
like, why am I reading
They're
history?
close to 24 hours behind now. The paper, the first chance they get at this will be tomorrow morning. How weird is that?
By the way, who reads
the
Saturday paper? Isn't exactly
that's true, and it's
that'll be their first chance.
Yeah.
But I mean, people could go to their websites, sure.
But it's done. It's like that. It's archaic. It's paper. Stop.
Well, I don't read the paper that way. I only do it digitally now. I mean, I know some people who love the kind of the feel of a newspaper. For me, I like all my newspapers on my iPad. I can access it. I don't have to fold it out, especially traveling. Like, you're sitting there like this with your arm extended into someone else's seat, trying to read it. It's disaster.
You have to know how to fold the pages over thing.
There's an art to it. And then you have to redo it every time.
Every time.
The good fold, you have to unfold completely to get to the next page.
Turn the page, new fold.
Have you been, they might have asked you last time, have you been on your dad's plane?
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys talk about that last time?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, go ahead. Go.
No, I'm just curious as how fucking amazing it is.
It's pretty sweet. It's because when I travel commercial. 99% of the time I go coach because I travel with teams of guys. Like not everyone's going business class, and I can't lead a team if I'm sitting in business class and they're all sitting in coach. I just feel like a jackass. So it's just so much more painful doing that kind of travel, given that I travel virtually every week after having been on the plane with my dad. Because there you walk around, there's bedrooms, there's movie theaters.
Oh man,
how big is his plane?
It's a 757.
So
that's a big
got a
aircraft.
757.
He's got a 757.
So, it's a big plane. It's sweet.
Wow.
It's cool to be able to take my kid or something, like my little boy. Take him up into the cockpit. I'm a pilot myself, so I get it. But a 3-year-old kid, he's sitting in there watching you come in at night, landing a plane. It's pretty sweet. It's a cool experience.
I'd love to sit in a plane during takeoff and look out the front window. That's gotta be fucking cool, right?
I don't know what the FAA statutes are because I'm not quite. I'm a licensed pilot. I'm not sure if I'm rated for that, so I'm going to go off the record on that and say, all
right.
I would
assume. Well, let me just assume it's probably fun to be able to get behind the controls of something
I would
like
imagine it's fun to fly VFR at 36,000 feet.
What's VFR?
Visual flight rules. Just sort of using the horizon as opposed to instruments and.
Do they do that? Why would they do that at that height?
They wouldn't.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like flying the old iron compass.
But I've been lucky with my father's pilots and stuff back when he had his other planes, 727. Before that, I used to go with them when they do their training and go into sims.
Yeah.
And practice landing all these big planes in a simulator, and it was always sort of amazing. Just having 90% of my experience in a Cessna and these kind of smaller planes. it's all kind of the same, other than the numbers that you got to follow. So it's pretty cool.
Why don't we go to Steve the Therapist? He calls our show from time to time. He has a profile on this guy.
Okay.
Let's just see. Let's see what he says.
This could be interesting.
Hey, how's my profile? Well, he does this for a living. Steve, what do you got, buddy?
Good morning, guys.
Hello. What are you thinking? It's the story's only a few hours old, but what do you got?
The type of person that does something like this is probably got a diagnosis of either antisocial personality disorder, which basically means you're born and you're raised without a conscience whatsoever. You have no capacity to feel guilt. Or somebody who was a high-level paranoid schizophrenic, because, as Anthony has probably said, the tactical planning behind this was very sophisticated. You're probably looking at somebody who's either bounced out of the military on a Section 8 or for a dishonorable discharge, or somebody who never made it in.
So it's Klinger.
Right.
Yes. Okay, remember? I was trying.
The Klinger killer.
Klinger killer, yes, in a dress.
You're also probably looking, if not the military, somebody who had aspirations of being in law enforcement and couldn't cut it.
Wow.
What about a guy that might have worked at that movie theater?
You know what? We all have revenge fantasies about people who haven't treated us good, ex-girlfriends, former employers. Yeah. That kind of response is way over the top. I would tend to doubt it.
He was assistant to the assistant manager at the movie theater.
But I made the point earlier how it was probably a guy who didn't get into the military or the police department.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. And I said that
Why are you laughing through it?
No, I made all these. I didn't do it on air, but I just did it to my friend in the hallway.
I did it to myself.
Yeah, it was all by myself. I did that.
Oh, Jimmy, you're a smart guy. I'm not surprised.
Thank you.
Oh, it's very sweet.
Anything else, Steve?
That's it, guys. I'm punching out.
All right, Steve the Therapist calls from time to time. That's his thoughts on
when
it.
you guys said Steve the Therapist, I wasn't sure if this was like an O&A fan type therapist.
Right. Well,
giving some sort of. That was actually a pretty.
Well, we
good
also have another therapist with big, huge boobs and stuff.
That's good. He said the guy's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Thank you.
Well, by the way, I don't want someone with credibility to go on the record saying this guy's crazy, because that's what's going to prevent this guy from actually getting the punishment this
that's
fucker
true.
deserves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I actually said that out in my tweet earlier. Like, this crazy bastard. I was like, man, I shouldn't have used that word, because he's not crazy. He's disturbed, but he's not crazy, because he's got to get the chair.
Let him stand trial. Death penalty over there in Colorado. And boy, if any case should get the death penalty, it's something like this.
Yeah, and they'll still drag it out for months, and they'll bring up something that happened in his child. You know, the bottom line is this guy's not a human.
And they got him, they got him red-handed.
We got a witness.
Stared back, and no one knew how to react.
Everything was going good until we saw gas and sparks and sounded like really strong fireworks. And then you just hear people yelling, and actually just a few rows away from me, a girl gets up holding her jaw, and I guess she had got shot.
Overall, I give the movie 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, that was exciting. Wow. Oh, man.
Horrible.
Yeah, I have seen a lot of minorities being
I've seen a
interviewed.
lot of black witnesses. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And so when that's all I saw this morning. And so when I heard 24-year-old white guy go, oh boy.
That's funny you said. I did not even notice that until you said that. You're right, though.
I'm starting to see a lot of black witnesses.
I don't see color.
Because we've been trained to not be able to think like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, whenever they're interviewing witnesses and stuff, you're just trying to get the and plus it was a lot of voice stuff.
Yeah.
You didn't even see them.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, even for me, like, before I said that, I'm like, am I allowed to say that? Like,
you second guess yourself every time
like,
it races.
If you're talking to me, you don't come here for PC, but like I still you're so trained to think that way. Like, oh, you can't say something like that. But the bottom line is that could be one of the motivations.
Yep. You don't understand us. We only see race.
Yes, we're terrible people.
So this Jessica Redfield, who supposedly died in this attack, or whatever, and she's a reporter. She wrote a blog about just missed being in a shooting in Toronto last month.
Whoa.
Narrowly escaped Toronto mall shooting in June and wrote about it.
Jesus.
Yeah. And supposedly she was a victim of this thing.
That's one of those things you walk away from one of them and you're like, that's never going to happen to me again.
I know.
What are the odds?
The fuck?
Yeah. What are the odds?
Why don't we take a break? What are you promoting there, Donald Trump Jr.?
I'm not promoting anything. I just
hanging out.
Just said, hey, you want to come in? I said, sure. What the hell?
Just a friend.
All right, we got Bob, how do you say his last name?
Odenkirk
from Breaking Bad coming in a little bit.
Oh, great show.
I got to plug our Chicago
of
thing.
Of course we do, yes.
Opie and Anthony live in Chicago, Friday, August 10th. It's our first appearance as a radio show in this great city. And 115 Bourbon Street is the name of the place. And we're going to start a little earlier, I think, say 3 to 6 or whatever it is, Chicago time. Details are on our Facebook page and SiriusXM.com. And the oddest thing you own, bring stuff down. There's going to be a cash prize for the weirdest shit that is yours. Chip off the old block. There's going to be a horrible chip impersonation contest, which will be enraging for everybody.
Oh, angering.
But I want to get a look. I want someone to have a look.
Yes.
Because it's hard for me to do chip publicly anymore. And worst breath. You can make your breath bad, or you can just naturally have that fucking hideous,
horrendous,
dry plaque breath, and E-Rock will judge it. I don't know what you win. Hopefully a self-inflicted gunshot wound is your prize.
By the way, are you guys staying at our hotel? Because one of your guys emailed me, and then they followed up with like, well, we have like 18 crew. Can you give them like a same deal? I'm like, they're like, they're like, we have a budget of like $100. I go, it's rated the best hotel in North America. You want 18 rooms during Comic-Con for $100 a night? That's like, are you out of your goddamn mind?
Is it really rated? That's great, man.
Oh my God!
Travel and Leisure rated it the best hotel in North America. So it's a sweet place. You'll like it.
Jesus.
I've been there. I went there one time. I flew there to Chicago to stay in that hotel.
I think we've talked.
I did.
That sounds good.
I've said it when you weren't here. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It was just beautiful and clean.
Nice.
And
so I'm like, I'll look up the guys. Like, we'll get you. We'll do something great for them. And then they're like, well, how about the 18 crew? I go, guys, you're barking up
the wrong fucking tree.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah. No, listen, hey, you don't get anything you don't ask for. I'm a firm believer of that in life. But
you're doing us a favor, and we really appreciate that. We don't want to take advantage, certainly.
Not at all.
Hey, this is just coming in. Suspect's mother tells ABC News, you have the right person. I need to call the police. And she's flying to Colorado from wherever she lives.
Oh, wow. Boy. Tennessee? But I think we may have found the guy earlier. We may be the first to have actually found him on that.
You think it might be that guy that we saw?
I don't know, man. If I had to generalize what a killer of this nature, if it is an attack on the opposite race.
Do we have audio of her saying that? Let's look for that.
I wonder if we
break.
left her a message.
Yeah, let's look for that, because that's coming in on Twitter a lot, so it definitely happened. I'm wondering if there's audio of her saying that.
Does that guy say anything on his website? Anything?
It didn't look like
there's some crazy stuff on there, though. Some out of the ordinary stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't want to give out his page.
Yeah, no, I mean...
But
it turns out not to be the guy.
Well, basically, we're just searching for James Holmes.
I know.
Yeah.
All right, more with Donald Trump Jr., the Breaking Bad guy in a few minutes, and this, which is pretty good.
Chip% on the scene. Chip% on the scene. Yeah.
What's that? We're doing interviews for Chip at TV on the YouTubes about the UFC event. Who did you want to see? Who are your favorite fighters and kickboxers and karate guys and judo guys and mixed martial artists and UFC guys and that
I want to go see Clay Guida.
Clay Guida? Shut the fuck up! I'm trying to talk. He's always you're okay, right?
I'm good.
He says shit. I turn my hat like that or something like that. Like, yo, what's up? We're here in the expo, y'all. Clay Guida. Clay's a weird name. What, does he live in the earth or something? Who do you want to see win the big boxing fight?
The boxing fight?
The mixed martial fight.
I'm for Chael Sonnen, man. I'm an American. I got to go with the American.
Yeah, my mother always said that there's too many of these goddamn uncircumcised guys coming in here, Chipper. They're all uncut. I've been saying all day, silver is gold.
Silver is golden, man. No one can beat him. He's the best on the planet.
Yeah, and Chael Sonnen, they're going to change him to Chael Moonin.
Chip% on the scene. Chip% on the scene. Yeah.
Fucking home run, Chipperson.
Sirius XM. The Opie and Anthony Show.
Kind of a weird day. You think they pull? You think they pull the movie?
No way. No way.
You don't think they pull it?
You can't.
No. Why would they pull the movie?
Why?
What does that have to do with the
They
movie?
do
It has
that,
nothing to do with
but
the
they
movie.
do that with other stuff.
No,
all the
it's
time.
Gonna be horrible for the movies.
It's gonna be weird to see it now for the people that haven't
for
seen
the
it
rating.
yet.
I think that's a movie that could have done really well because I actually really liked this trilogy,
right?
As opposed to the Schwarzenegger Batmans, which I thought were ridiculously stupid.
Well, they were cartoony and all. They were going for a different feel back then.
I mean, the Christian Bale ones have been awesome.
Yep. Yeah.
They're good movies.
I only liked the second one. The first one was okay. I loved the second one, and this one I was okay. I didn't love it.
Oh, did you see this one?
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it. I still like the second one better
by far.
Hey, Bob.
Odenkirk. Jesus Christ.
How are you,
Sorry to
sir?
interrupt your show.
Don't worry about it. You're not interrupting anything.
It's just a strange day today, sir.
Huge fan of Breaking Bad, of course. Hanging
I'm a big
out.
fan of radio.
Are you?
Are you really? Why?
Are you really?
We're
the last of a dying breed.
Yeah, we're not, and we do it every day.
This is Don Trump
Oh,
Jr.
Hi.
That's me.
Hi.
Yes.
You related to the senior one?
No, not at all. Yeah. yes, I
Poor
am.
fella.
He would be the son.
Poor fella.
Yeah. Yeah. Donald Trump put out a few kids, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He
How's
put out
it
a few.
going? You're like a judge on one of those shows, right?
Exactly, on The Apprentice.
Hey, I just got hired as a judge on one on shows coming out next year.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's called America. What is that you're doing? Are you? Is that your talent?
Isn't that
what
every
you're doing
reality
right
show?
now?
Yeah. What is
Can
that
you-
you're doing?
Can you stop that?
It's a long title
They're going to use an acronym.
with a lot of dots.
Use an acronym.
dot.
Yeah.
Do you like that? Is that fun?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not going to quit my day job, but it's sort of a interesting way to break up the year.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, I guess, being kind of a real estate guy, I'll look back on 20 years and be like, hey, I was like network TV for 7 or 8 years.
That
Like,
is
kinda
pretty
cool,
when you think about
it's just
your
a life
real
experience,
estate guy.
It's not something I do. It doesn't change what I, it just makes my life a lot harder during the time that we're filming because it's hours that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, so I got to go back and, but it breaks it up. It's pretty cool.
That's the beauty of my career. I don't have that whole hubbub with TV to interfere with the shit that I'm doing.
But watching TV.
That does get very distracting.
That's a lot of fun. You worked with Bob, right?
We did it years ago, man. We haven't seen each other many. We did me, Bob, Rich Voss, and Zamuda as Tony Clifton. It was this weird thing where they were showing outtakes.
Why were we doing that? What was the event?
It was an Andy
Kaufman special that they were showing on TV, or there was some reason why it wasn't just. It was like the 10 years.
It was or 20 even
20 years
of Andy Kaufman's death. It was at the House of Blues in L.A. And they showed a lot of Jim Carrey footage that wasn't in the movie from. It was right whenever Man on the Moon came out.
Right.
And then they did a walk by Kaufman's house. We went over to the Comedy Store.
Yeah. It was kind of a weird show, but cool that way.
Yeah,
It was a cool one, and I'm a fan of Jim.
Aw.
He's a funny
thanks,
guy.
man. Thank you.
Man,
Jimmy is.
That was a weird night. It was a weird crowd.
But it's for Andy Kaufman, if so.
But
that's what
it
we
was
expect.
perfect.
Right.
Perfect for Andy.
I'm jealous. I would have loved to check that out.
I was before it was my first time, I think, meeting Zamuda, and
He's been on the show.
It was, as it got hotter and hotter, the fucking Clifton makeup gets
Started
tougher
melting?
and tougher to keep on.
Oh God, nice.
And
Starts
he's
melting.
doing it again. He's doing Clifton.
He is,
hosting
right?
a show at the Comedy Store.
He came in as Clifton about a year, maybe.
Oh,
It
yeah?
might be 2 years
Was
ago
it
now.
pleasant?
No,
It was weird.
he's not a pleasant man.
It was very strange. Extremely strange.
Very odd. Yeah.
But we enjoyed it.
Yeah, Zamuda's a weird dude, but I mean, he's managed to keep that going for
Amazing, right?
a long time. And it's odd. We all know Kaufman is fucking dead, but there is a part of you that when this son of a bitch sells it, you're like, well,
Yeah, that could be him.
you have like a little hope.
know,
And then you're like,
I
no.
Yeah, a little hope, right?
Yeah, then it's just, you realize it's just fucking Bob.
I love what they did with that. I love that they switched off who played the character. And
Yeah, just
it
an
was also
amazing
kind
thing.
of comedy that it seems like it would fit in right now. Everyone would understand it with, like, Between Two Ferns and stuff, the kind of rudeness. But back then, that's
It was
so
just
nuts.
Yeah.
It was nuts, man, and he would do stuff that
Going
just
on-
people didn't like.
They went on. Did you see the Dinah Shore show appearance?
No.
Oh, it was great. It was just great.
Was
He
it
rude
with
and
Kaufman
stupid.
or
I think it was Zamuda, and he was hilarious.
Yeah,
Just because back then there was no alternative comedy.
Right.
It wasn't this weird irony. It was like you were just a guy who they thought sucked. That was really ballsy to fucking do that, man.
Yeah,
Like, 'cause he was
To
doing
go
it
up and bomb on purpose was a...
in Catch a Rising Star. It's not like it was the Luna Lounge where people were a little bit more tolerant because they knew you were exploring a certain mentality or a certain thought process.
Right.
This was just, what the fuck
only
is he
thing I
doing?
would say is different is I used to go do stand-up at the Improv here when I wrote for Saturday Night Live because I wanted to get a laugh once a week.
Nice.
If you can believe that going to the Improv was the thing that fed my soul. You know how rough SNL was.
What years were you there?
87 to 91.
Okay.
I wrote for Dennis Miller and Jan Hook's time, and then also Farley and Sandler.
The Farley years were
fucking amazing.
Yeah, some great stuff. And on the wall they had those photos. Do you remember? Did you ever do that club?
The New York Improv?
Yeah, the old one.
I think I went in there once. It kind of was before my time.
So anyways,
closing.
on the wall were these pictures of acts, and it was so weird because there were singers and there were people doing juggling, and then they explained to me that that's what used to happen in a comedy club in the 70s was you have a comic, a singer, and a specialty act in that order all night long.
That's
like a variety show almost.
Like Ed Sullivan. People spinning plates.
Weird variety acts. Yeah, those spinning plates in a nightclub.
It was always weird. Like, I remember Ed Sullivan, and it was that kind of dumb thing. And the whole family would sit and just be captivated by somebody doing some awful thing with bouncing balls and spinning plates and juggling bowling pins. It's like, whoa.
Yeah,
who's watching this shit?
This is a party act, right? This is like a 6-year-old birthday party
act. And it's on national television.
On national TV.
Yeah. I'm amazed there's enough people interested in taking the time to learn a practice like that. Like,
backstage, imagine that. The Beatles talking to the plate spinning guy. And they're both doing equally well. They're both at the same place in their career.
No one remembers that, like, when the Beatles were on Sullivan, like, there had to be some filler acts before and after.
The zookeeper with...
and there was a guy that's like, I played with the Beatles. On Ed Sullivan. No one remembers me.
That's a funny moment in Mr. Saturday Night, which it wasn't my favorite movie, but there was a really funny moment where Buddy, who is Billy Crystal's, like nightclub guy who never quite made it to the big time character, comes out was it before or after the Beatles, and he's just screaming at all the kids and he fucking sabotages his career. But it was a very funny thing to picture a comedian having to come out and fucking work with the Beatles.
Well, the Beatles.
Yeah. I just don't remember if it was before or after them.
Yeah.
But somebody else did.
You were involved in Mr. Show, right?
I helped with it.
Yeah.
I got in the way of the camera. David and I did that. David Cross and I.
And of course also Ben Stiller's show too. Which, that show, why didn't that show take off?
Because it was on opposite 60 Minutes.
Oh, was it?
It was such a crazy placement for that show. It was
Sunday at fucking
parodies
7?
And definitely for young people.
Yeah.
And it was opposite 60 Minutes. I mean, it was death right away.
What time? What channel?
Jesus.
It was Fox, which was just beginning to have shows. So, you didn't even know they had shows some nights.
They did have like a Fox Sunday, and then like the rest of the week, it was the local affiliate was running I Love Lucy or something.
Yeah, right.
And then they built it into a 7-day-a-week network. But at the time, you're right, it was like Fox Sundays.
Well, maybe they didn't have a lot of spaces to choose from, but it really was not going to do well. Because, 60 Minutes... They already had, all those people. Their audience was people between 7 and 75, and we had everyone else we could pluck from.
Yeah, I remember that just being really a funny show, very cutting edge and comedy that you weren't seeing everywhere else.
It was also pretty weird. I mean, people say, I don't know, when people use the word weird for comedy, I think sometimes it means they're boring. Like Mr. Show, I feel like people talk about it like it was weird or whatever, but I don't think it's weird at all. I mean, it's just the things we're making fun of are pretty apparent. If you're watching it. You can that's a parody of this and that he's doing, And then I think the Ben Stiller show was weirder by far because the pieces were such a strange mashup, Eddie Munster in whatever, what was it? I can't remember. Cape Fear, and where does that come from?
Medieval Cops. I remember that one too. It was
cool. Some funny stuff. Yeah.
Who else was on that? It was you, obviously Stiller, Janine Garofalo.
Andy Dick.
Oh, right.
Judd Apatow was the producer.
Jeez.
Rob Cohen, Jeff Kahn, David Cross wrote for the last 3 episodes. I never talked to him. I just gave him shit. He was in the room pitching, and he was a new writer, right? So he wanted to get something on, and people were pitching these parodies that I hated. These stupid, mix the titles together, and somebody had A Few Good Scouts. And I was like, ugh. And David was like, yeah, you could. He was just trying to cooperate as a new writer. He was like, I finally got a job. I'm making money doing comedy. And he's like, well, you could do this and you could do that. And I think Judd said, well, write it up. And I turned to him and I said, good luck with that. And he remembers that forever.
Yeah. How hard is it to write for a show? Like, I've never written for anyone but myself, and like SNL is supposed to be a fucking rough environment, like a very tough
but I don't know
place.
what it's like now, because I think people are much nicer now.
Yeah.
It seems like just the vibe there is much better than it was when I was there and before I was there. I when I first got there, I couldn't understand the coldness and the kind of strangeness and intensity of everyone. I mean, I was already intimidated because it's my first job and I'm 25.
Huge.
And then for people to like pile on the intimidation, it was like, what is up here? And I found out that everyone felt that way about the place and previous, cast
Everyone
members.
I've spoken to from SNL has the same story about how just awful it was to work there.
Yeah, and they wouldn't go up there. I mean, I heard that like Jane Curtin said she'll never set foot on this floor again in her life, Wow. And, like, wow, really? I thought, wasn't this a great time in her life?
It looked fun.
Daryl Hammond was the longest running cast member, and he's been in 9 mental institutions.
That says all you need to know, right?
Now, does it have the same cachet today as it did back then when it was a rougher environment? Because I kind of look at it as like the ultimate back then, and I know it's still on. But
it does though. It does, and also, like I said, I think it's different over there now. I think everyone is nicer to each other. Mm-hmm. There's more people, which somehow makes it. There's way more writers. There was like 14 when I was there, and now there's like 23. So I guess your odds went down to get something on, but everybody's kind of in the same boat. There's so many people up there in the same boat, so they're kinder to each other, it seems. But I think it does, because there's so many venues for comedy, and it's still a premier place.
Well, because my question is more from the business side: did like the aggressive work environment actually promote sort of a better product than the happy, friendly?
I suppose they probably
everyone
think
gets along
that
nicely.
may be true. That may be true. I don't know.
There's so many Saturday Night Live alumni that it's like, and all you guys seem like it's like veterans of the Nam. You all have this like
it's
camaraderie.
An intense experience.
We made it through.
Yeah, it is a really intense experience. I totally respect to everyone who went through there. But the other thing is, I don't think people are deluded when they go there now. Like, I'm going to be a movie star. They know I'm going to do this, and it might work, it might not pan out. I'm just going to try to do the best I can with this. So when I was there, people were still showing up going, that's it, I'm done. I'm a billionaire.
I'm huge. Was that the Hartman years or no?
Yeah.
You were there for Phil?
Phil, I was there for Phil.
He was brilliant. Funny dudes, man.
Oh, that was
funny
great.
people.
Fucking brilliant.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Simple caveman lawyer. That was one of the great skits of all time.
Was Farley as crazy as everyone says? The stories
when
that come out.
When you say crazy, what do you mean?
Well, I
He's
guess
a really sweet guy.
No,
really super
I understand that,
guy.
but there was one story about how he would shit out the window.
Yeah, he would do that.
That's actually never been verified.
Why is that crazy? Let's analyze this. Where should shit go?
I should explain.
Flush it down the toilet.
I should explain. I'm a huge fan of Chris Farley, but
it's crazier to shit in your own window, I guess.
They said he did.
Yes, at least it's out.
He kept it interesting for everyone.
I
should explain.
Youthful. He was very
so depressed when he passed, man.
It was really
he had
sad.
a lot more to give.
He sure did. Yeah, and he was a good actor too. I did Second City with him. I did the main stage with him, and he did a few scenes that weren't pure comedy scenes. They were kind of dramatic, and he could have done anything. His movie work doesn't show what he could have done.
Right,
and he just.
His performance in Tommy Boy, though, was brilliant.
Brilliant.
Really, but way past just being funny.
Yeah. It's a real shame because my kids don't really know who he is, and I showed him one or two movies, but he just didn't stick around and do enough to make the impact he should have made, But he was the best guy ever. I loved him. Everybody who knew him loved him, and of course you saw it coming for so long. It made it worse because for so many years everyone was trying to help him, and it was weird because there was one party that I went to in L.A. and I didn't know he'd be there, and he wasn't drinking, and he was with David Spade, and he wasn't drinking, and he was totally on the ground, and doing great, and I thought, oh my God, he's going to make it. I'd never seen him like that. I'd never seen him so in control of himself. And it was like a different person than I'd ever seen. So it made me really happy and to feel like he did it. He made it there. I can't believe this. Because before that, you just see Chris sober after, rehab, but very still, kind of being a childish, kind of being immature, going, I promise. Yeah, I'm going to be good. Yeah, but you kind of go like, you're just saying that to me like I'm your dad. I don't want to hear that. I want to believe it, and I did. I believed it. But I think he had a lot of temptation. There's people who have a certain kind of celebrity where when people see them on the street, they're like, dude, let's party.
Yeah.
And he had that.
Yeah.
So the temptation around him was insane and never stopped. And just walking down the street, and people are, this is their one chance to have a beer with Farley. I'm not going to pass that up. I know he's supposed to be sober. Come on.
And he's the big fun
just
guy.
This one time. Come on, Chris.
Very approachable.
It was really sad.
That's going to be a tough way to live.
How long after that did he die that you said you saw him at that and he seemed okay?
I'd say it was about 2 years after that.
Okay.
So it was a while. Yeah.
Wow.
There's something about there's something about like those big fat guys who are like Gleason, John Candy, him, Belushi. They those guys also, those really over the top fucking gut funny fat dudes that are great actors as well. There's different to me than there's a certain physicality they have that smaller guys don't have that they bring. Like no skinny guy could do what Gleason did. There's something about his largeness.
Why is that though?
I don't know. It's just the dynamics of how they're made up, and maybe what goes into making them big, loud, brash, funny guys.
Yeah.
But usually they turn to be fucking like Candy was a really good, serious actor when he did it. I'm babbling.
No,
Farley when he did the Chippendale skit.
Oh,
he was actually a pretty good athlete, man. That stuff was amazing.
He was absolutely a dancer. I mean, he could do anything.
It was incredible. I'm looking at that. I mean, he was as good as Swayze or whatever it was in there.
Yeah.
With an extra 300 pounds. It was
a classic, but Breaking Bad, obviously.
That's why you're here, Bob.
What about that show? What is with that show? I've never seen it.
I haven't seen it. I'm embarrassed to say I haven't seen it.
I hear it's great. I'm a huge fucking fan.
That's great, man. Thanks.
I wound up
no
getting...
need to swear.
Well, that's true. I shouldn't use the blue language. There's no reason to go blue over here,
Satellite
children.
Radio.
Yeah, you kind of love it.
It's like ham, right?
Yeah, it's ham radio. Sometimes we get skip.
We
get skip, and we broadcast to Europe.
Yeah, Breaking Bad's awesome. I mean,
it really is. And your character came in. Was it the second
end of the
season?
Second season, yeah.
End of the second season. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had to get in enough trouble where he needed a lawyer.
Oh yeah,
I guess is why you came in at that point. The character's great. We were talking last night about your office alone is a character. That office is hilarious.
Yeah.
And God,
with the pillars and
behind it, and God we trust.
Constitution,
the Constitution behind you,
on the wallpaper.
The pillars. It's so pompous.
Well, it's such a facade. I mean, everything about Saul. When Vince called me to ask me to do it, which is amazing that he asked me to do it.
You were in mind when they. Like you were the guy?
I guess so.
Wow, that's fucking great.
Somebody turned it down, some idiot.
Oh,
did they ask you to read for it, or they said we'd like you to do it? That's great.
No,
God,
I know. Isn't that weird? And I said, so tell me about it. And he goes, well, he's a sleazy lawyer. And I go, great, I can do that.
How hard can that be?
And then he goes, his name's Saul Goodman, and he blah blah blah. And I go, whoa. I said, I'm not Jewish, My kids are Jewish and my wife is, but I'm not. And he goes, oh, well, he's not Jewish. He's Irish. He made that name up. Yeah. He just wanted to
even better
appear Jewish to the homeboys,
Because it is great.
Credibility.
Saul Goodman.
Yeah. And
Saul
I said,
Goodman.
oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Right away. And I right away wanted to do the hair, the mullet, and the comb over mixed together, but also cleaned up as much as possible on the sides.
Yeah.
And No offense to comb-overs.
Family tradition. I heard that one on no less than millions of occasions.
I'm sorry.
No. I'd make fun of it myself, but karma's a bitch, and I figured my genetic propensity towards potential bad hair, I'd rather just not go there.
You're lucking out. You got a great head of hair, right?
You really do.
I'm doing okay so far. Yeah, that's why I don't want to tempt fate. I'll leave it alone.
Good. So and honestly, Jim, I showed up there. I would not have been surprised if they said Odenkirk. Oh, that wasn't the name. No, go back home.
We
Wrong
didn't want
actor.
you.
No, I can't believe it. So years later, 2 years into it, I asked Vince. Vince Gilligan writes the show, and he's the mastermind of the show. And there's great writers, amazing writers, but he is the final say, and I think propels it into the place that it is. And I said, so why'd you hire me? Is it because of the Larry Sanders Show? Because there's some similarities between the characters, Saul and Stevie Grant, the agent I played.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, Mr. Show. So I don't know. I'm not going to touch it.
Why would
I've done it for 3 years now, and I love it.
Great situation, man.
I'm just going to keep going.
Was the character supposed to be as prevalent in the show?
No, he's. I don't know, because Vince is hard to scrutinize, but he said, initially it was 3 episodes.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like Omar from The Wire was supposed to be on for 6, and it just worked, and he became the star of the show. That's great.
People love the character. The character's so sleazy.
It makes wisecracks and stuff.
Yeah.
And because for him, like all these characters that you've been watching, if you watch Breaking Bad, everybody's got a gun to their head.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yep.
Everybody. The wife of the guy who's making the meth is, scared to death. So he's the one character who wasn't in fear all the time. And he was just making wisecracks.
Yeah.
It was a big game to him. Like, how much money can I make off these idiot meth cookers, these degenerates? And then now, as the intensity of the show has gone up, which is amazing, right? That it keeps going up. You can't believe it.
Yeah.
It's the hot water's starting to rise up.
Yeah, you
over
can't
my
be
neck.
involved with that many people that are in that much trouble and not get your own hands dirty.
Yeah, I'm only on beginning of season 3, so don't really just tell me to go earmuffs or something like that.
No
spoilers.
No spoilers, yeah.
No,
but,
I was lucky enough to see the first couple of episodes before it aired, and the first episode was great. The second episode of the new season here, it was unbelievable. Just blown away by it. I was saying how it's almost like a movie that's taken years, because a lot of times they don't want a character to change in a show.
Yeah, TV shows about not
leave
changing.
Fonzie the way he is.
Yeah,
Fonzie's this guy. But like Walter White has completely changed through the whole show.
Yeah, well, that was the goal of making a show where that happened, which is it's probably happened once or twice before. I don't know when though. But yeah, mostly TV is about watching the same characters in the same place.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a no-no to make them change. You're going to ruin the formula.
But yeah, TV's really changing with these cable channels and what they're trying to do something new, and so that was Vince's idea, was to watch Walter White mutate and evolve or devolve into this evil guy and believe every step and understand why he makes each step.
And it happens so gradually that it's not like 1 week he's this timid guy and then the next week he was this tough guy.
Well, he's always got a loose screw. That's the thing that as you watch it, you start to understand that he's got this past, that he's got this anger and rage.
Oh, he's broken right from the beginning.
Jeff Garland said to me, because Jeff, like a lot of people, I have people come up to you when you're on that show all the time and go, I never watched it, and then 2 weeks ago, I watched all of them. I can't believe it.
Yeah, it's like 24 that way. You know what I mean? You sit down, you're like, oh, and you realize you spent your whole weekend watching a show.
Yeah, and I think it's streaming on Netflix, so it's easy to watch them all. So Garland comes up to me and he goes, I finally watched them all. It's about middle age. It's about being a middle-aged white guy. Nobody says it. Kind of, if you look at the character and how Walter White's character and how much rage and resentment he has, I think a lot of 50-year-old white guys are like, yeah, I never got mine. I never got what's coming to me.
He was invisible. He was just a science teacher.
And shit on every corner.
Yeah,
and then
always
boom,
shit on. And what's really great about your interaction with him in the beginning, you were shitting all over him. I mean, you controlled him like a puppet.
Yeah.
And then now in the last few episodes that I've seen from this season, boy, does he have you petrified now, too,
I've seen
he's the boss.
Yeah.
Oh, what he's capable of.
Right.
Exactly.
We had him in recently, and
he's fantastic.
Brian described it as, he said when he came up with the character and how to make it, he said he wanted him to blend in. It was really brilliant. He said, like, I gave him, like, these bland colors so he blended in, and an impotent mustache, and it's all I can think of now is an impotent mustache.
Yeah.
His greatest term.
Just sitting over
his facial hair.
With no purpose whatsoever.
Yeah, just nonsense on his face.
Yeah.
What a smart actor thing to do that is.
He's great. He's a great actor and a really great guy, and sets the tone for that set. And
then the Emmy nominations came out, and
13, right?
Crazy, right? A lot.
Wow. It's amazing.
Amazing. I mean, Giancarlo Esposito is such a great actor, and he's plays Gus, and he's nominated, and Anna Gunn is nominated this year. She's so great as Skylar, and this year she's amazing what's coming up.
Yeah.
So
she looks petrified, too, which is great. Like,
she's in such a spot. That first episode of this year, I don't want to wreck it for you.
No,
but
I'll go earmuffs,
That line,
right at the end, right?
I forgive you.
Yes. And
that was crazy.
And she's like, why? Her face is brilliant, because you could hear her going, what? You forgive me?
Oh, man.
Everyone's just petrified. It's fantastic. Yeah.
It's a moment where you're like, I don't know if I wanted to see. You didn't need to have a camera in there then when they said that, did you? Did you need to show us that?
And it's also a credit to the show that a lot of people, when it first came out, weren't watching it. I mean, this has built up steam where people are going back and getting those first couple of seasons and blasting through them, trying to catch up before the spoilers come out.
I can't believe I get to be on it. It blows me away, and it's an amazing project.
I bet you get recognized a lot from this, or more so
from this than anything I've done. I've been doing comedy. Stiller Show, Mr. Show, and all kinds of little videos because I'm always making stuff with friends in L.A.
Funny or Die.
Funny or Die stuff. And, but I've done so much. But this is obviously the biggest thing by far, in a way, that I've done.
Yeah. Do you have any clue of where the storyline's going to go? Not even going to ask you what happens, but I'm just curious if you know.
I won't make it outside the studio.
That's true. We might have to beat it out of you.
It is a darker season this season, as you can see, and but there's some amazing, mind-blowing stuff that happens. That when I read it, you read the scripts. When I get the scripts, you read it. It's just like watching it. You're like, what? No! You're kidding me. I mean, I call them up and say, how are you going to do that?
That's got to be fun.
It is fun. And then you want to forget it right away because you want to watch it again and sort of see it for the first time.
Do you get the whole script? You don't just get your
at the
sides?
end, the last couple episodes of the season, they black it out like a government document.
CIA document.
Right?
Yeah, they do, because script almost got out like 2 years ago. I don't know how. But they, so they don't want to.
They don't trust you guys at all.
It would ruin it for everyone.
Right.
I don't want to know what's going to happen, and especially now that the end of the run is kind of looming. I watch these episodes like you want to savor them. They end, and you're like, shit, there's another one gone.
Yeah, I definitely say, because I watch it mostly on like an iPad when I travel. I save them all up, and so it's like, man, there's 2 more shows in the season. It's like, do I watch it now and try to grab it all in, or do I wait 2 weeks and just try to get something more out of it, or watch something else to break it up? And
I totally get people who go, I can't. I have to wait till the end of the season and watch them all. I can't. I can't suffer through the week.
I watch them, and when I ever watch anything, I watch it fast because of again, spoilers and the amount on Twitter.
Oh, these pricks.
Yeah, they'll ruin anything on Twitter. Yeah, so you got to get it out quick.
Whenever I'm doing something like that, having one of these marathons of a show that I haven't caught up on, I never say on the air that I'm watching it.
Oh, speaking of which, don't tell me what happens on Big Ange.
Oh, damn. No. Don't spoil Big Ange.
I'll get right now. I'm on season 2 of Laverne and Shirley, and I want to know what happens.
Yeah, she blows the big ragu.
Yeah, I hear there's a double dildo coming where the father catches him in the pizzeria, but I don't want to.
Don't.
I've been watching Classic Sports Network. Don't tell me what happens.
Yeah, Ali Frazier's next
Super
week.
Bowl 17.
Hey, you had a stand-up background, right? It was.
I did stand-up. I'm not a real like you're a real stand-up. I'm not a real stand-up. I just use the stage for getting up there and telling jokes and.
But you did the Second City. I mean, that's,
no, but he does it for a living, and
I'm not in real estate.
Fights.
I just build buildings.
Jim fights with an audience. See, I don't do that. If they don't like me, I go, well, okay, I got to go. It's okay. You don't have to like me. I probably don't like you.
Believe me, if I was a better actor, I wouldn't fight with him either. It's just I have no choice. It's either that or I'm fucking not working at all.
Yeah, you got to go with what you got.
Yeah.
I'd
love to be a better actor.
You know, that's part of it. You know, is being a real great stand-up like you is that you get up in front of people and you work it with that crowd. You make it work for you. You know, it's hard. It's a tough gig. So you know, I just do it for fun.
Yeah.
But I did it during the comedy boom when I was starting out because I always loved sketch comedy. That's always what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And but you could, if you could write some jokes, you could
get up there and
make
tell
some
them.
money. Remember how crazy that was? I mean, I don't know if Jim, you came kind of
1990. I started, and I got my first paid gig like April of '91. I was on the tail end of the boom when it was kind of bottlenecking a little bit.
Would you bamboozle for that paying gig?
All right, I was
Dennis Ross and Jim Florentine.
Oh, okay.
My first paid gig.
Yeah.
Wow, damn.
Yeah, 91.
Because I do remember when, there were, on any Friday and Saturday night,
crazy.
There were so many comedy shows on television. Just they couldn't find enough clubs to pop a camera on in front of that brick wall and just
it was
comic
nuts.
after
in
comic.
Chicago, it was like it was like there were 2 clubs, and then 2 years later there were like 12.
Yeah,
like you know these chains, they would open chains of them. Like Zanies had like 3 locations and.
One of those is closed too. The Zanies in
they closed
Vernon Hills.
Like 2 of them, yeah.
And quantity did not mean quality.
No,
either.
it didn't.
Wow.
No. And every disco had used to be disco had a comedy night.
Comedy
but, you
night,
could pick up $50 and it's better than waiting tables.
That hurt a lot of comics too, though. Like a lot of guys who might have been much funnier start headlining before they were ready because there was so many headliner spots available. And then in 1993, 94, 95. They weren't good at writing material, so they were doing the same shit.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys have been phased out and probably would have been better acts if they had been forced to.
They had to just
fucking work their way through
the clubs up.
Yeah,
trying to fill up so many goddamn comedy clubs.
It was so crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts back then.
You can't do it like you can't just. It's not like opening a disco where you just play the top songs and everyone can play them. You need to get these guys to show up and have material.
Entertain a crowd.
So it was really some lame comedy.
I find sketch to be harder because like I've never seen Second City live. Excuse me, but I've gone to UCB and when Amy Poehler went in one night, and what a masterful improver she is. She's fucking brilliant at it. And it's like improv is either really, really horrendous or it's fucking art.
I mean, you know, if you're going to do it good, the people who do it well, they do it all the time. You know, they get their head into this space. I've seen some great improvisation. I'm not a great improviser. I've done it, but I've seen some great stuff. And UCB guys are the top notch people. Some of the people who do like Ass Cat and stuff, you know, like Besser and Amy Poehler and Matt Walsh. But then you're right. A lot of improv is terrible. But sketch to me, he was writing sketches and then putting them up and I love that. Monty Python and early Saturday Night Live and Second City TV. Those were the things.
You guys were. I'm sorry. Were you guys more improv or sketch? Were you doing improv too? Mostly?
I did improv because that's where you do it in the same place where you would do a sketch show. But I was always more for let's go write this and try to make it good. And improvisation to me was a way to get there. But I always was skeptical of improv and still am a little.
Yeah.
I mean, when they're really good at it, when people do it 2 times a week for 3 years or more, some people do, they get to this place where their head is just, they're making connections. The Groundlings is amazing too in LA. The the alumni groundlings, the guys who've been just doing it for years, and that can be mind blowing because everything ties up and it's funny. And how did you do that? It's hard to grasp.
Yeah,
but but a lot of improv is just people being clever on stage and being scared, and everyone laughs because they're all worried for you. It's just weird.
Yes.
So we'll get together and we'll worry, and then if anybody says anything remotely clever, we'll all be thrilled,
very hard,
laughing at the cleverness instead of like maybe sometimes it would deserve a nod, but it gets a laugh.
Right. Yeah.
I still find it scary because I just know I would find crutches and just lean on them constantly. I knew it's very difficult to do.
Well, stand up is a scary thing.
Chips are great example.
Seems petrifying to me.
Stand up is a scary thing because of the audience, though. I mean, you get some really rough audiences in stand up.
Yeah, but you can attack them. You can't attack the camera guy or the fucking writers when you're bombing in a scene. It's horrible because you're stuck in it. I just got to keep forcing out my dialogue.
Yeah.
Stand up, you can go wherever you want to go, and like you can own it. I can say I stink. This crowd blows. I'm terrible. You can acknowledge it. It's much more. It's much easier to me than acting is fucking hard, man.
Yeah, it looks
hard. You're stuck in a scene. And you can't get out of it.
How did you feel when you got this part? Is this like your first really dramatic kind of? Even though there's a comedic element to it, is this really your first kind of dramatic role?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean,
did you have any reservations about
things. No. The only thing about it is, in comedy, comedy is back and forth. You say two lines, and the other person says two lines, and in this, my character is a kind of a motor mouth, and he runs off, and so I have these long monologues, and I wasn't going to memorize it because I was used to comedy scripts, and you get the blue pages, which is the rewrite, like 3 days before you go shoot it, right? And anything long in comedy gets cut down to 2 lines.
Right.
Yeah, I can't help you today. Here's the door. And so I didn't memorize it because I was like, well, they're going to shorten this. Essentially what my character's saying here is, I can help you. So I'll just say that.
No, verbatim, right?
Yeah, they changed like a date. They changed like the word Tuesday to Wednesday. And that was it. And everything else you've memorized. So that was kind of strange. It's such long things, but long passages. But then as I studied them, I started to really get the characters, like how his mind works. And so there was something going on in there. And it's new. It's a challenge for me. And I'm really enjoying it, and yes, it's
you can tell it comes off very well. I mean, I couldn't imagine anybody else doing that part. You've really owned it as an actor, definitely.
Well, thanks.
Yeah,
I'm lucky.
Is there anything hard for you? I always ask this to guys who are good actors. Like, what's hard for you to play? Like, is there like one that's like that emotion is hard, or that type of a scene is difficult?
I don't think I could cry. So some actors can cry. It's nuts. I did a movie called Melvin Goes to Dinner, and it's Annabelle Gurwitch is in it, and she had a scene where she cried, and she just cries.
Yeah.
And every time you do it, tears come.
How do you do that?
Flowing out of her eyes.
A lot of actors can't put the tears out. Like, you'll see them, like, they do the crying face, but like, your face is dry.
They just do that. They just wince.
It's like, your face is dry. Who cries with a dry face?
She just cried.
Yeah.
Like, what is that? How do you do that? She's like, it's acting,
No, I think that's something screwy in the head.
Yeah, that's
I think there's something that you're always on the brink of crying.
You're
constantly on the brink of crying.
If she thinks her boyfriend's not listening during a discussion, that fucking comes out. Always
starts
there.
crying. Yeah, she's always got to hold it back.
Yeah, so I don't think I could do that. But otherwise,
I think it's a woman thing.
Yeah,
I think they have the ability to do that much easier than men.
Yeah, perhaps. I don't know. I've seen guy crying in movies and TV shows.
Some people. Demi Moore has a great teardrop. Denzel. That won him the Oscar in Glory. It's like, he's just standing there getting whipped, and the fucking tear just drops.
I think the single tear on the not crying face has more impact than the goofy cry face.
Yeah.
Like Demi Moore just stood there and one tear in Ghost just fell out of her eyeball. You're like, holy shit, that's fucking amazing. Yeah.
Well, sometimes you do that with mentholatum.
Yeah. They put the fan with the menthol in your face.
They blow in your eye through one of those menthol inhalers. You know.
Oh shit.
And then just before they say action, and somebody blows through that into your eye for like 10 seconds and then gets out of the frame, and then tears come
you
out.
just
But
start
that's different.
I
can do that.
I could react to an injury.
That's what you're doing, Just injured here. This is painful.
I don't know, but I really think that one Denzel Washington. Oh, he did it in X, too. When he met Elijah Muhammad, he fucking dropped a couple of tears, and it's really intense because there was no blubbering lead up to it. It was a deadpan face, and then flap. There was no indication.
Amazing.
I believe me, that's how I would ruin it. I would go like, "Get me a tissue." Like I would really fucking let the audience know it was coming.
Cut.
You're not supposed to say tears coming and look at the front camera.
It's Jim Cut Norton.
50 take idiot. I tend to do better as the takes go on. Like Louis fun to shoot with because he works like a comic. But some guys are better in the first.
What do you mean he works like a comic? Does he?
He's okay with fucking around a little bit, like a stand-up, like because he's in charge. So whatever like he'll go. All right, let's just do it, and then we'll play with a line a little bit, or I'll add something, or he'll add something. He's fine doing that as a stand-up.
Right. No, I don't change anything. By the way, people, because I've done so much comedy and because Saul Goodman is funny, they say, so do you improvise a lot of that? And I don't improvise anything.
It's all written.
Not a single word, no.
That's even more impressive.
Don't stray.
God, I
really learn it verbatim.
Yeah.
And do it verbatim.
Well, the writing is so good on that show. You know, it's
kind of fun to do that too, because that's where you really go. So how do I get from this thought to this thought? And it's like it's neat to do something new. I mean, I'm 50 this year, and people don't often let you do something very different from what you've done. When you get older, so it's cool to have this opportunity. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, it's also obviously it's being written, but you have to deliver the lines, and you can't just do it deadpan straight face. There's inflections and facial expressions and body movements, and you do play a great sleazy lawyer.
I just dig through it and ask kind of follow his train of thought and ask myself what he's thinking about. And one thing I also do is, Robert Evans, the famous film producer.
Yeah.
The Kid Stays in the Picture. Great book, and the best book on tape ever.
Book on tape, really?
Kid Stays in the Picture.
Book on tape.
Oh, it's so awesome because he's got this incredible. You know Robert Evans, right?
Yeah, I know the
and he's got this. He's got this crazy. Up and down to his voice, and he's always saying, "Did I do the right thing? No. Would I do it again? In a heartbeat." It's like a sing-song thing, and the pacing changes up, and he's just really fun to listen to.
Yeah.
So I always do all my lines as him a couple times before I go out there.
Oh, wow.
Just because he's able to do like a monologue and you want to hear the whole thing, and he puts do I think that's a smart move? Not in a million years. It's just this crazy rhythmy thing, and I think it maybe helps me to be more entertaining in those long casts.
I've heard they tell us we have to wrap up. I guess I don't know if you have that press.
Well, we got a special we're running.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, your comical contest.
Oh, when does that start?
Right now,
okay.
Really, to be honest with you.
Hey, do you know Fred Willard at all?
I do know Fred.
Do you like him more now today than you did yesterday? I know I do.
I saw Fred only a few weeks ago. We did a Jeff Garland's movie a few weeks ago, and he was so funny.
He's fucking hilarious, man. He's really
and he didn't jerk off once.
Not once
that you're aware of.
Now, look, I got to ask you something.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't go into porn theaters, and this is old people need to learn how to use the internet, right?
Of course.
He missed the first half of our discussion where this was definitely covered.
You got to buy him a modem.
Shouldn't you be arresting people who are in porn theaters not jerking? What are they doing?
Exactly.
Those are the creeps.
What a creepy
Why are
person
you in there not jerking off?
Playing words with friends. That is a little bit creepy.
I don't know what he was doing, or I don't care. I don't want to know. I can't believe this. People are talking about this in this day and age.
He's
hilarious. And PBS fired him, those shitheads. Even if he was jacking off, he's not fucking
in the right place.
He's doing it in the right place.
Yeah.
It's a good citizen. That's what you should do in
the
a
right place is home in front of your computer, by the way.
Limping along,
selling
weird old combinations of the old TV shows. So weird. PBS. What the?
And they get this brilliantly funny dude, this relevant guy who's been in so many great things.
Yep.
And they shit can him because he behaves like an adult in an adult establishment. If it happened, even.
If it even
He's saying
happened,
it didn't happen.
yeah.
So I'm hoping for his sake it actually didn't, just because I'm sure he's embarrassed.
Well, I don't care either way. I don't want to hear any more about it. It's just so. You know what I mean? It just shouldn't be reported. It shouldn't happen. Leave people alone. If they want to go in there, I don't care.
Yeah, I'm sure, back in the old days, well, it's, the new 24-hour news cycle. It's, I'm sure Clark Gable maybe at some point wanted to spank one out in a movie theater, and they left him alone.
Oh, my God.
They didn't even
news today is a little different, man. There's so much stuff that's irrelevant to real news.
You got to fill it up,
I remember one time jerking off in a porn theater on my way home from a gig. I was, this is way back when they existed on Route 130.
Yeah.
And you'd always have to sit in a corner away from everybody, because guys sit together when they want to fuck around. But I would always be off to myself. And I remember just you could kind of see in the upper corner a bunch of guys were lining up in front of some dude who was blowing everybody. And I had to leave. That was the first time I was where poppers were used. So
Really?
I saw the guys breathing, and I'm like, this is too fucking, even for me, it was too creepy.
David Lynch.
Like a movie, right? Yeah.
Because I didn't want to be watched jerking off.
Yeah, no,
believe me, I'm a hero when I walk into those places. I fucking sachey in, and all eyes are on me. So I left. I'm dishy.
Well, how about the fact that at his age, he's
just going to town.
It's good to know. It's good to know. You still have those urges.
That's fantastic. And he was in the right place for, an older guy. I mean, he obviously, he's got to learn that you can stay home and do that now.
So maybe he lost PBS. Maybe he'll get
pick up some fucking pay-per-view.
Hard-on medication for old people.
Exactly. The Postivac.
I love the guy.
It shouldn't. He's fucking hilarious.
It doesn't change a thing.
Guy's giving us years of great entertainment. Leave him alone. Let him do what he wants. I just wanted to know if you knew him and were familiar with
He's
the
a great man.
story.
Real
Yes,
sweet guy.
And so are you, Bob. Thanks for coming. Well, I don't
Thanks
know,
for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming in. Sunday at 10 p.m. on AMC.
Great show. I definitely suggest you catch up very quickly and then watch Sunday's episode.
And are you active on Twitter? It's Mr. Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah, I'm not that active on Twitter, but
I think you have 3 tweets, sir.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what. I'm not going to be involved like you are.
A little bit.
I'm just going to tell people when I have something on TV or whatever.
Exactly. And just so you know, our gig, Opie and Anthony, we're live in Chicago. The show Friday, August 10th at 115 Bourbon Street. We'll be there in the afternoon, and I'm doing a gig the next night, Saturday the 11th. Myself, Nick DiPaolo, Artie Lang, and Dave Attell at the Horseshoe Casino right outside of Chicago.
The Horse's Ass Casino with you guys.
That's nice language to end on the weekend.
All right, Jimmy.
and let's not forget Donald Trump Jr. Thanks for
coming in.
Glad to be in, guys.
Thank you, sir.
And I believe up next on this channel is the Comical Con special. Comic-Con, obviously.
Sure will be fucking ridiculous.
No, it said you interviewing a lot of big names. So stay tuned for that. Bob, thank you, bro.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you,
sir.
The Opie and Anthony Show on Sirius XM.